Here we go. Yep. And let's get it all up here. So we got, gonna make out my tweet here. 1 second. And we are live, up and going. Here we are. Alright, let's get on with the news. There has been some interesting news here today. We are going to wait just a tiny bit here for people to get in, so everything can be happening. Air Force One is up. I am very sure that's Air Force One. I can't see it from size. However, taking a look at the picture of the aircraft, it looks very much like aircraft. It looks very much like Air Force One. United States Air Force Boeing 4B. Yeah, so I don't know, but it looks very much like Air Force One. It's not a doomsday plane. So the only other thing is the 747-200, which is the Air Force One model. So very short, it's the Air Force. We have shit ton of reconnaissance plane up. We have 3 river joints around it. So there's 2 right there, and I've got the I got the third one. There we go. So 3 of those. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. They're all river joints, so nothing special. We had a B-52 flying over here earlier. B-52 is the bomber plane, and a doomsday plane was flying in advance ahead of the Air Force One that's coming in now. So I think that the president is on the move. He's probably going to somewhere what looks to be in California. So he's on the move there. So we're going to track that, see what happens there. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. A lot of reconnaissance. We have a drone in the area as well. Just want to show you that, just so you got it under the. So you got the we got a drone called Evil 11 in the area as well, flying at only 9,000 feet. I'm not sure if it's landing right now. Could be landing. But we did have a drone called the Q4 Global Hawk, which is the same drones flying in the Black Sea, you know, Forte 11. So we've got that up as well. So got a lot of good stuff happening, you know, simultaneously here. So a lot of stuff up. So that's happening. So we're gonna track Air Force One, see what happens with that. Witchy Air 86, hello, welcome in. How you doing? Okay, well, Romania news here, guys. There's been some developments. So the idea is that there hasn't really been a, you know, sort of explosion in Romania, but it's debatable because it was on the border and it was very close. I'm going to give you the videos here. So the description is here, Russia hit Orlivka, Isica, I don't know, crossing Romania. So it's the crossing from Ukraine to Romania. At night, 20 trucks were damaged. The video was taken from the Romanian side. And I had the report that said that 2 truckers were injured. So I'm not sure if that was Romanian truckers or Ukrainian truckers. But 2 truckers apparently were injured. And up to 30 trucks, some other people stating maybe up to 30 trucks were actually damaged during this attack. So there has been some development throughout the night. We had the threat of ballistic missiles coming in yesterday. That was reported by Flash. So this could be developments of that. They're targeting the Odessa ports as we're talking here. So check this video out. Got a longer one as well, but this is, you know, more than one video here, and this is just, you know, they're filming. You can see that there's a bridge right there. I think what they're filming underneath is a Danube. I'm not sure though. I think the Danube's got to be somewhere near that, but it's definitely a crossing here. There you go. That's the second one right there. So there's some sources were stating up to maybe 30 trucks were damaged and 2 truckers. We are not sure of any casualties. I have not been sure of any casualties. There you go, guys. The second, I'll show that in a second. They're also running, and I would say it's very debatable whether or not this was on Romanian territory. It is very debatable because it does seemingly look like it could have been on Romanian territory. We have the Doomsday plane I was talking about. Look at that. That was sent in advance. That's right there. So a lot of special reconnaissance aircraft up right now. And Air Force One right there. So stuff happening. But yeah. So that's happening right now. I've got another video. Another angel of Russian attack on the that Olivka crossing, likely with a shaded 135, 136 loitering ammunition or loitering. Another video here. This is a bit further away. So that's the Danube, I believe, and this is filmed from, I believe, the Romanian side. And that right there was in Odessa. That's the explosions that we saw. This is one of the first explosions, so that was only one. Got one more video for you. So it's really stuff there. Well, in between all this chaos right here, some good news also. Romania starts the process of buying F-35 multi-role fighter jets from the U.S. Romanian Defense Ministry today issued a letter to the Parliament asking it to approve the purchase of 48 F-35s. 32 of them will be bought in a first batch for $6.5 billion. That's something. Come on, like, you know, other news here right now. Just want to give you that as well. So Romania is also buying that F-35. We got another video here, and this is the same video. It's just without that big watermark in the middle. So I've got this video without that massive watermark in the middle. But this is just an extended version of that same video here.
Nu auzi, dai drumul, că vine. Auzi, oai? Fugi, că pică aici. Uite, aici a picat direct în vamă.
I don't speak Romanian. I'm not sure what they're doing.
Dai în față că mai trimit.
I mean, you can hear the air raid. You can hear it from Romania. I was actually unsure if there's air raids that actually was going on in Romania as well. You know, the Romanian 40s could have thought that those drones were to hit them. You know, you can literally walk across right there and you would be in the Ukrainian ports, and that would be where the explosions are. You know, and that's the trucks right there. Some of those I think was damaged, but you know, I mean, it's very debatable because is it in Romania or is it not? You know, I mean, you know, let's watch one more time here because you see the explosion happening. They only filmed the first one of those right there, right? So the explosion, listen to it. You can hear it. You can hear the drone come in. You can kind of hear the drone come in, and then he moves back right there. That's the big explosion right there. You would have walked across, right, and there it is. You know, I mean, it's literally just on the other side. You could have felt the wave of that hit. You know, some Fleet Plus explosions in one of the first videos there, and again, you know, this is just a few of those that actually was hitting. So they're debating whether or not this was in Romania or not. It hasn't really been any official statement that's come out from the Romanian 40s. However, it has been stated that this may. I mean, I mean, some sources are saying this is not good, but it wasn't in Romania, so I don't know. Again, right there, another angle of this video right here. That was taken, I think, across the Danube right there. Just another example of how extremely close it's getting, because I know that the Russians, you know, you sort of control that drone right there, but you know, think about the consequences of the fact that you could have literally just seen it move, you know, by miscalculation of 2 meters, and it would have hit the bridge. It would have hit, you know, those men standing at that border crossing right there. You know, that, you know, especially because they're working so close and those explosions are so close. Shrapnel, anything really could have hit it. You know, I mean, if you kind of miscalculated that, you know, drone by just a meter or 2, which is likely, well, which is, yeah, this is from today, Vaughn. This is from today. Well, no, not really. From tonight. Well, last night. I'm reporting on today. It was from last night, so not technically today, but yeah, you know, from today, I guess. Yeah. How you doing, Vaughn? So that's what's happening in Romania. We're gonna bring you more on that later on today. I've got some pictures as well. Within 2 hours, Russian terrorists attacked the Odessa region with strike drones. Most of the drones were shot down. Reports to the regional military administration. The port infrastructure was hit in the Asmila district, which is also near Romania there. 2 men, truck drivers, were injured. The building of the checkpoint and the storage room were damaged, and about 30 trucks and 6 trucks caught fire. Firefighters eliminated fires. So some were stating, and this was Flash and other news, that it was about 96% of the drones got shut down, which is an impressive number. I'm not sure if that was in Odessa alone, but a very big amount of the amount of drones that was actually fired did get shut down. We got some pictures of it here. So these are, this is from the area here, and you can just see the trucks there. That's got the foam all over right there. This is from the firefighters that's been putting it out. And again, these are car fires. You know, they're not the easiest thing to always put out. So, and there you go. You know, I mean, it's just destroyed completely. You know, it's just my mind goes always to point towards the point where, you know, what if they miscalculated the first drone by 2 meters or 3 meters, right? What if it malfunctioned? I mean, it's technology, right? You're standing in the middle of a fucking field, right? You're controlling it, what, thousands of miles away. Not thousands of miles, but a good miles away, you know, and you're steering it, and what if it loses connection? What if it, you know, malfunctions and it steers wrong? What if it, you know, it's technology. I don't trust that sort of technology. I trust technology. So I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, I don't trust technology. I don't trust technology when it comes to wartime, because in wartime you can never know when something is going to malfunction or not. Because that, you know, that radar that you're using to control that drone, you know, the radar could have been, you know, the Ukrainians could have taken out that radar, because they're actively taking out radars that Russians are using to control their drones. What if the Ukrainians didn't know this was happening? They took out a radar. They took out a radar, which is actively happening. We know it's happening, right? And then, you know, they lose connection to the drone. The drone's still gonna go down, right? But it may just fly completely into Romania and land somewhere in Romania, which has already happened. What happened once was a miscalculation. It's already landed in Romania and was quite far inside Romania. It's happened 2 times. So, and yesterday as well, which was, you know, we had a rocket land in Moldova. You know, you're giving a gun to idiots that haven't shot a gun before, and you expect them to do a good job. You know, it's actually dangerous and scary. For those just joining in here, we have Air Force One up, 3 river joints, and a Doomsday plane down here, with a shit ton of planes all over. A lot of reconnaissance and a Q4 drone in the area as well. We're not sure where the president is. I know where the president is, but he could be going to visit. Does any of you know where he's going? I would like to know. I could probably go to the Washington Post and check it out, but don't bother. Alright, guys. Well, let's move on here. We're moving on to some EU and UN news. Another 2 ghost landing has been recorded in Spain. Ghost landing is the name of the arrivals boats of migrants. So ghost landing means boats with migrants on boards. That isn't intercepted by coast guards, meaning the migrants are new registered as they enter the country. So, you know, ghosts, you know, they're not. Thank you, Luigi. They're not registered. That's why they call them ghosts. So we have that coming in for you. Vice Grad 24, great reporter here. You gotta check him out. Got one of the Romania videos there as well. So this is happening throughout the Mediterranean here. A big amount of these migrants coming from, I believe they're coming from countries like Libya or some of the regions that have recently become very unstable due to military coups, and these people are now seeking refuge elsewhere, because not only do I think their homes has been destroyed, I think they're fearing the worst for their families. I mean, it's just crazy that these boats are even, you know, afloat, because the amount of weight these people put on these boats is insane, you know. Around to San Francisco, California. Well, that makes sense, because that, you know, it is heading towards San Francisco right now, or at least it's heading towards California, so that makes sense. Obviously, they always track him around when there's always all kinds of things going up when he moves, so a lot of stuff there. But Air Force One is up heading to California. Fair enough. Fair enough. Nothing too crazy right there. But I mean, this is quite crazy because this is actually a serious issue. You know, not only because it's hard to really take in these people, and you know, we don't know, you know, how we're gonna take care of them, but the long journeys that these guys take, you know, they literally travel across the Mediterranean on these boats right here, which, you know, putting that much weight on that boat right there, you know, it's incredible that these boats are afloat, you know, sometimes. And also, the people that are driving back and forward, those guys in those boats right there, are earning a good amount of money. You know, the only reason why these people on the boats are actually doing it, they're doing it, I believe, because they earn a shit ton of money off it. And we don't know if this is a campaign. And I've been speculating a lot because, and I don't like to speculate, but these boats right here, which I've seen them travel in before, it's not something that I've seen migrants actually get into before. And that's my issue with it, because usually the migrants, when they travel, they would travel, you know, with motorized boats, but it's not that fancy. So it kind of, to me, looks like they've been fundraised by somebody who's giving out boats, and I want to know who's driving those boats, and I want to know who is fundraising these people to go to another country, because I believe somebody or some country is fundraising a mass migration into Europe. It's a speculation, but the only way I can possibly explain why we're seeing these boats, you know, who are in many ways some things I want to not, you don't really see migrants travel in, you know, at the normal time, and the fact that they're going back and forward, because usually they use boats that, you know, are just flotation boats, right? And then they just leave the boats when they, you know, come in. You should have seen the video from Lampedusa, which was in Italy, right? Those boats they arrived in was not those kind of boats, because they were wooden, you know, broken down boats, and some of them didn't even have motorized. It was just, you know, them paddling all the way with fucking sticks, right? So I believe somebody is fundraising a mass portation of something. There is many of them who I believe are traveling away because of what happened in Dana in Liberia. You know, 13,000 dead and homes. You know, in these African countries, you don't get security guarantees. In Denmark, in the U.S., in many European countries, the modernized countries, when natural disasters happen, despite how little it is, you are given somewhat of a, you know, a security guarantee, and you're given housing, you're given food, you know, all that. But these countries in Africa, you're not given food, housing, proper care. You know, that doesn't happen. So they travel away. So I believe some of what's happening is a reality, but I believe somebody else is riding a high tone on this. And I'm not going to say the Russians, but I believe there's a reason why the Wagners are in Africa right now. Wagners who have the money to fundraise this kind of thing. It's a tactic that we're not only seeing the Belarusians do, but the Russians are actively supporting the Belarusians in pushing migrants across the border. It's a blitzkrieg all over again, you know, because the Germans during World War II, when they first launched their assault, they would send thousands of migrants ahead of them, slowing down the Allies. I think I don't know if it's Putin doing the same thing, but somebody's doing the same thing, and I think Putin's using the Wagners to create instability and have the migrants go away. There's no other way to explain it, because, you know, usually they travel, but they don't travel this much. You know, it's a lot. It's all of a sudden a lot. You know, so it's weird. It's a conspiracy theory, and I know, but it's not that far-fetched. I don't think it's that far-fetched from reality. So, and we know it's happened before. All right. Well, let's move on to some other news here. In the Kherson region, Russian soldiers raped women between the age of 19 and 83, which is, Jesus Christ, exactly, dangerous. Yeah, it is dangerous. The Independent International Commission on Investigation Violations, in Ukraine continues to find numerous pieces of evidence of war crimes committed by the armed forces of the Russians. You know, the UN General Court, Justice Court, right, of the Crime Court. They're like a bunch of like people, but I think it's actually run by a bunch of blind people that have to see, you know, everything up close before they actually know it's happening. It's so fucking stupid. Because first of all, the Russians, they used what? What did they use? What was it they used? Munitions, right? They used incendiary rounds. You know, the sort of white, what's that called? Magnesium flying from the sky, right? These white phosphorus, magnesium, cool, like, you know, bubbles, how do you put it, you know, falling from the sky, and if that hits your body, that completely burns you away. John, how are you doing? Welcome in. That's a war crime, and it's not allowed to be used. And we saw videos, and despite that, you know, the UN General Court and the EU has never commented on that. They haven't called it a war crime. There's videos of it happening. There's Ukrainian commanders happening. Zelensky commented on it. He shared a video on it. There's Russians saying they've done it. So how the fuck is it that you're not condemning them for the fact that they're using incendiary rounds, you know, and fucking magnesium, which literally burns a hole in your body, white phosphor. Yeah, white phosphor, right? So burns holes in your fucking body, which is against the Geneva Convention, which in any way it is, right? It's a fucking war crime. It's a war crime against not only humanity, but it literally is a rule and a war crime. And they're still not condemning it for it. They're still not saying anything about it. They haven't said anything about it. So how the fuck is it that they're not coming out with this idea now that they're like saying, oh, they're raping them? You know, the Russians raping is a bad thing, but compared to the things that they've done, it's a fucking freckle compared to what they've actually done. I'm not saying it's anything less bad. It is bad, and I fucking hate them for it. But they still haven't called them out on kidnapping children, which is not a conspiracy theory. We know it happened. Zelensky commented on it, so he said it. The Russians said it. The Russians have showed videos of Ukrainian children in Russia. So, I just want to point out, somebody's playing music there. I just want to point out that, you know, the UN General Commission, UN General Justice Court, you know, Criminal War Crime Court, whatever the name is, it fucking, you know, I'm subscribed already. Of course you are. Of course you are. It's fucking ridiculous, you know. But one step at a time is what they have to. One step at a time. Okay. Latest reports state that often family members were kept in the next room. Reading. Okay, I'm still not done with this right here. I'm reading on, and we're gonna watch the video of the guy stating it in court. So they said here that the Independent International Commission investigate violations in Ukraine continues to find numerous pieces of evidence of war crimes committed by the armed forces of the Russian Federation. The latest reports state that often family members were kept in the room, forcing them to listen to the violence occurring to their loved ones. So, meanwhile, they would beat or, you know, rape their mothers, their loved ones, the children and the family members would be in the other room listening to it happening. which you know, that right there is a fate worse than many things, and you know, that again is a fucking criminal thing to be doing, you know, and it's just to get now they're fucking saying it. Oh, it happened, you know, like what the fuck are you talking about? There's Ukrainian women that came out. What was it, like fucking a year ago? Saying a year ago there was a Ukrainian women who came out and said that the Russian occupiers took them and raped them. There was a mother that said that they raped her child. How old do you think that child was? Oh, let me get it to you. The child was 5 years old. There's another story of the child being 9 years old that also got raped. Right? Rape is one thing, but fucking child rape, you know, that's I mean, it fucking commies, right? It fucking pisses me off. It really fucking does, you know. How fucking weak does your mind have to be, you know? And why the fuck are they still afraid? Oh my god, you know? Oh my god, what if we call them out? What are they gonna do to us? Nothing. They're not gonna give a shit. They don't. Russians, first of all, they're not gonna give a shit, right? But second of all, it's about condemning. It's about saying it. They're not gonna do shit to you, and you know, they're not gonna find you in your home. Okay? So yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But we got the video here, so listen to this.
The Commission has found that in the Kherson region, Russian soldiers raped and committed sexual violence against women of ages ranging from 19 to 83 years, often together with threats of commission or other violations. The Commission has found that in the Kherson region.
So that's what he said, right? And that's what they're now putting out here, and that's their latest sort of. We realized this was happening. You know, everybody knows it was happening. They just still didn't comment on it. You know, I watched videos of that of stuff. They're talking about it happening. You know what? Fucking 2 months into the fucking war, it was happening. You know, it's well, we're above like 1 year and 6 months soon, or above that, and it's still, and they're still saying it. You know, so yeah, fucking ridiculous. We don't believe anymore. We don't support Ukraine. So when we don't, okay, so let's go.
Believe in Ukraine.
The Estonian Prime Minister says, when we don't believe anymore, we don't support Ukraine. It's not because she doesn't support Ukraine. I just got a video from her saying this right here. It's important to note and show these videos of these world leaders.
Ukraine's victory. Otherwise,
so she's still very much behind it. I just want to show this because it is important to show these, and you know, these are world leaders talking. So let's listen to this.
we have to believe in Ukraine's victory. Otherwise, I mean, this is what Russia is hoping for. To see cracks in our unity, and also to see cracks in our belief in Ukraine's victory. Because when we don't believe anymore, then we don't support Ukraine
Hundreds
anymore.
of thousands
and
of
then,
Ukrainians have died in this war.
Absolutely.
Ukraine right now insists that it will recover all of its territory. But this war, which for right now appears to have no end, is costing the most terrible price.
It is, but again, I come to our own history. Of course, every child knows that war is bad and peace is good. But there's also a difference between peace and peace. You in UK, after the Second World War, you had peace, which meant that you built up your country. Nobody died because of the regime. Whereas here, we didn't have war after the Second World War. We had peace. But what it meant was mass deportations of our people to Siberia, where they died. It meant mass killings of people. It meant the suppressing of our culture, trying to erase our language. All of this was here when there was peace. So even if there's peace, which is not sustainable, it doesn't mean that the human suffering will stop. And that is what we have to do in order to stop this.
That's called being put in place. Right there. That's why I like her. Because she just put that motherfucker in a fucking place. She just put that man in his fucking place right there. He didn't have a word to say afterwards. He was like, all right, okay, I see your point. You got a point. All right, okay. Well, yeah, you got. Well, maybe, okay, yeah. Maybe you're saying, okay, yeah. It got put in place right there. Well done, well said. And that was the Prime Minister of Estonia right there. She was talking about of course, the occupation, the when they were under Soviet rule. They would take, yeah, she was a legend. She is a legend. That's what she is. She said that of course they would take the Estonian people and put them to Siberia, which is not false. Railroads and stuff like that, and the work camps in Siberia, which if you've ever heard stories of that. There was the stories of the Romanian and German army, right, that was sent to Siberia after World War II and after the Germans failed and lost. They were sent to the Siberian work camps, and I think it was maybe close to 300,000, or in massive numbers. They were actually sent to the Siberian camps and work prisons and prison camps and all that in Siberia, right? And it said like only 90 returned, or like it was like very low numbers of soldiers. I don't have to come right numbers, but just big amount of German soldiers went up there, and it was only like a few of them actually ever returned and actually survived working in Siberia. It was, so yeah, so that was at the time, we didn't say anything against it because we kind of felt like Germans, we were like, the Nazis, they deserved it. But it's also important to note that most of what the German army at that point, was some were still, those original German soldiers, but many were young men, 14 to 16, who didn't deserve it. That's another story for another time, I think. But yeah. The so-called Hitler Youth, right? But yeah, another story for another time. German Foreign Minister. The German people continue to support Ukraine. When asked whether German support for Ukraine is lacking due to economic woes, Baerbock responds with an admit no. So she was asked do you think that because of our economy is going down, and do you think, all the usual questions that people get nowadays, these leaders, they get these questions about, are we going to stop, support for Ukraine because, our stock is going down, or blah, blah, blah. And she said no. And Baerbock is actually the same German foreign minister, still foreign minister, who went on Fox and said, and called Xi Jinping a dictator. I like her. I don't think she meant to say it, but she said it, and she wanted to say it, and she meant it, and that's true, She's not to be messed around with, certainly not. She's German. Latvia is ready. Okay, some other important news here, guys, that was coming out, and I was a little bit surprised by it. Well, I wasn't surprised by it, but I was just waiting for this to happen here. So Latvia is ready to completely close the border with Belarus and Russia in case of massive influx of migrants and other hybrid attacks, says president of the country, Edgars Rinkevich. So you all remember the domino break effect, right? So first, it was Lithuania closing their border, closing, for border for Russian cars, and then Poland did it, and Finland did it, then all the Baltic countries did it, and then some Germans Germany's even talking about it, Norway. That was a complete cutoff of the Russian cars entering any of the countries, right? Entering any of the EU countries. And that's sort of the domino effect. So if one country closes the border, it means that many of the other countries feel like they're within their right to also close it, because now they're not the first one to do it. It just always takes one of the countries to do it first, and it's like a domino effect right there. So I believe if Latvia does close it, which in case of a mass migration, which is happening at the moment, it could be a tense situation, but it could also mean that Latvia, if they close, other people will close, right? So that's what's happening there. The EU has published a report on how tech companies, including Facebook, Google, and TikTok, are thriving in the fight against disinformation. Elon Musk's X platform, formerly Twitter, is recognized as the largest means of spreading Russian lies and propaganda. Most major platforms have agreed to work with the EU on voluntary code of conduct that aims to set industry standard for fact-checking and other measures. X, that is no longer subject to the code, is the platform with the most disinformation post Eurorav said. So yeah, I mean that's, also who's running X, a man who's staunchly actually against the supplying weapons to Ukraine, so look at the leadership of X. You should never, I don't run companies, but as a leader or any leader, letting your personal opinion affect the ideas of your company can really damage, other people's lives. Because a lot of people that work for X, well, there's less people that work for X now, but the company, it has seen not some influx of money, and then he's even started to talk about that X may fall, but I still doubt that. But also because there's a new competitor on the market, which the Mark Zuckerberg competitor, the other, I don't remember what it's called, I don't use it, but so I mean, it's weird, right? But yeah, it can affect other people's life. And that's why you shouldn't let your personal opinions affect, other things. It doesn't matter. All right. Well, let's move on here. We move on to some Ukrainian news here, guys. There has been Russian channels report about a heavy escalation in Zaporizhzia region near Verbovy, Novoprovskovia. The armed forces of Ukraine is on the assault, and yes, something beautiful is coming. Is reported here. I've been thinking that there was going to be a naval assault, which I've been saying for a while, but it seems to me now that there may be a mass out assault of some sort of line assault in the Zaporizhzhia region. And the way that the Ukrainians fight, and I've talked about this before, but the Ukrainians will send a front line to hold off. They will make a dent, right? They've done this before. They make a dent, and then they hold that line. This is what we're seeing right now. They're actually holding a line, making few, sort of move-ins, but they're holding the line right now. And what they usually do is that they right behind that line, they built up a massive assault group. That's what they usually do. So they make it seem as if they're they move just enough equipment up to the front to make it seem like that's their main assault line, but right behind it, usually within the concealment of the night, they usually move equipment during the night because the Russians can't see them, doesn't operate well during the night, mostly because they have very few night vision equipment. So during the night, they will actually set up things that is sort of that will correlate into a big assault group that will then reconvene during the day of when they will attack. I believe this could be what's happening right now, but the Ukrainians are, incredibly slippery. I think this is the right word, or how would you? What's the right word? I don't know how to say it in Danish. I don't know how to say it in English. They're I can't remember the word right now. Sneaky. There we go. They're very sneaky, right? And they're very good at concealing. And the reason why they, so good at it because they've chosen the night to actually move equipment. They gathered a big assault group, and they've done it before. They did it during the assault on what was it, in the Kherson region when they took that back. They also did it during the assault in Kharkiv. In Kharkiv, they made a push into Kharkiv. We all saw it, and then all of a sudden there was this massive assault group that then punched through the enemy lines. That meant the Russians need to refocus their attentions elsewhere. that meant that the other Russian lines, which were shit, shit soldiers, was now facing off the Ukrainian army with advanced technology, and that was before they even had most of the advancements, right? So that meant that all of a sudden that Russian line was going to fall, and then that's actually how they managed to make the Russians simply flee. Because Russians started fleeing because all of a sudden there's this massive assault group just all out of nowhere, and that's actually not only is that what's happening in Ukraine right now, it could be what's happening. This massive assault group, and they've done it before. I've heard experts actually talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it because I thought maybe it would be a bit, I thought it was going to be a naval exercise, because I thought that maybe there was going to be some kind of, it's still not out of the question yet. I thought that they were going to go for Ukraine on the naval, but apparently they're now also doing advancements in this area where they've made big pushes. So good luck to them. We'll have to see what happens, and we'll keep an eye on it. But apparently there's now something massive happening in Zaporizhzia, and no, it has nothing to do with the ZNPP. Don't worry. It has nothing to do with the ZNPP. Don't worry. Ordinary Ukrainians are helping our army in the occupied territories, even risking their own life to do so. Sofia Bila, a Kherson Oblast resident, saved 3 wounded Ukrainian soldiers. She kept them hidden in her basement for 2 months until the village was liberated. So, yeah. She actually cared for them and kept them in her basement for 2 months under Russian occupation. Russian occupation. So watch the video here and we'll.
Троє хлопчики наші ранили, дуже ранили. Один ми його забрали бігом до нас, тягнули в кухні, а 2 ми забрали на другий день. Ми їх держали у підвалі місяць і 3 неділі. Росіяни ходили в хату, спросили, чужой є, кажуть, та ні, нема чужой. 18 чоловік ходили по вулиці, в хату. Я дуже боялася, я сознання теряла. Як зайшли до мене у дворі, вони через вікно вистрелили мені вікно, двері. Чужой, окроп є? Кажу, да нету нікого. У нас нету, а там підвал, 3 наші хлопчики. Я дуже, ми пережили. Тут уже приходять до нас, уже росіяни кажуть, вбирайтеся, то ми переходимо сюди до вас жити. А я кажу, Боже, що робити? Кажу, що робити, там наш 3 чоловік, як їх вивезти на Білозорку? Ми придумали, у нас була машина, прицеп було чужий, взяли, ми вивезли у диван одного, а другого ми вивезли у машині, сказали, що це наш батько, такий був бородатий, ми його вивезли. Ну таке, вивезли ми. А на 3-й вже Женя, він сильно боявся. Каже, Женя, у мене є Митрика синовий, а син у мене не був вдома. Його вивезли з внуками, з жінкою, його не було. Каже, давай я вивезу з моїми документами. Синові Митрика була. Ми їх вивезли, заховали там у підвалі. Держали ми ще місяці і 1-2 неділі у Білозорку. Зайшли наші українці, зайшли 11 ноября, а 12-го приїхали, їх забрали у мене. І вони всі живі, а зараз служать Тьома, це Тьома, Серега і Женя. Служать у гарячу точку, дзвонять, мама, мене називають.
They call it, goddamn, that, oh my god, that got to me right there, that got to me. That actually got to me. I mean, just incredible heroism, right? Heroism, and one of the few stories, I'm sure, that's been uncovered throughout the years to come after the war. There's going to be more of these histories here and stories that we're going to hear. Very likely, some of these story has been repeated, but the fact that she just, she didn't know them, right? She just know that they were soldiers, and she kept them, risk her own life, literally put her own life on the fucking line, and got them out of there, and managed to save them all, and that was incredible job from her side. So well done to her. Now we're moving on to something a little bit funnier here. Even the Ukrainian walrus decided not to let the boat with the Russian disembark at the French Joseph Land archipelago. Oh shit! Near the Arctic Ocean, near Svalbard. So even the Ukrainian walrus does not like the Russians. Here it is, and that's the boat they wanted to have out. I don't know why they keep saying Ukrainian, but apparently they call it Ukrainian because it's fighting the Russians. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Fucks it right into it. You imagine how fucking hated you have to be hated by the walrus. And they can't put that in water now. They have to put it out. You can't go.
Не ушла, сволочь.
He says, "Fuck off, commies." That's what he said. You want more? Come on, you want some more? That's what he's saying. Come on, you commies, you want some more? Give me some fucking more. And he laughs right there. He says, that's what I thought. So fun.
Что ты сделала?
Want some more, you commies? What's up, man? You want some more?
Что ты сделала, а?
Что ты наделал?
She's got a child with her as well. I think she thought it was a predator. They thought something dangerous. She had her child with her, and that's why she wanted to get away with it. But it's like, you want some more, you fucking commies? Come on in here. I'm gonna get you out of the fucking water. Come on. Come on, you fucking commies. That's what she was saying. Get out of my thaw water, you dirty commies. That's what she was saying. Well done. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Victory is ours, and animals bring always positive emotion to our fighters. We got some more videos from some great animals here. Some videos of some Ukrainian dogs and cats here. Can't listen to the music. I did repost it, so you want to listen to the music, you can go on my Twitter to listen to it, but I can't put the music on because it's copyrighted. So, but here you go. That's in the backpack right there. I believe it's his dog. I don't know if it is, but it probably picked it up somewhere. It's just chilling in the backpack there. What's up, you fucking commies? That's what it got around. The Ukrainian cat. Well, there we go. I don't know if they're using some of those dogs for military purposes. I'm not really sure. Doesn't look like it. It may just be stray dogs that they're saving. That could be something. That could be, you know. And a squirrel. Hey, look at that. The squirrel decided to claw up this guy's pants right there. You know how incredibly still you have to be to have a squirrel claw up your pants, because they. Oh, that's the truck moving by. Oh, I think I clicked. Oh, did I click the wrong one? Oh, okay, guys. Okay. Well, that was really nice. Okay, so I accidentally clicked the wrong one. So this one's the left one, and that's the right one. Alright, so I've put on the wrong one. My bad, guys. Yeah, okay. Well, I've just accidentally switched these two out. I think you'll survive. I accidentally switched that out. To those joining, we got Air Force One up, 3 river joints, and there was a B-52 up earlier, and a doomsday plane here, and the president is set to go to San Francisco. That is why we do have Air Force One up. Holy shit, I can't get it right. There we go. That's unfortunate right there. There we go. All right. 155mm Rams hit tanks. So some more commie tank right here gets pulled out of the Ukrainian war here. Is taken from above. Boom. You got hit once right there. coming. It's coming. There you go. Yeah, and then the ammunition just cooked off right there. You can see the smoke coming out of the barrel as well. But the inside of that tank right there is just burning up right now. It's incredible. It's still going forward. It may be. I don't. It looks like it came in from inside the tank. So yeah, look at that. It's probably still driving because the driver's. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's still driving somehow. Maybe it's outside the tank. I don't know, but it doesn't look too good, does it? I don't know if you can see something wrong with the image here. They don't look too good, you know. Something wrong with it, you know. I can't put my finger on it, but something's wrong with it. It's just you know. They're actually called the Russian Ghost Riders. That's actually what they're called, because they yeah, there you go. So obviously the driver is still alive in there, but he chose to drive into a lake, right? The only problem is he drove into a lake, but he can't drive the whole tank into the lake because then the whole tank gets submerged. He can't do that. So he drives the bottom half of the tank into the ocean. So what he's done is drive them into the water. Effectively, you know, I don't know if they got stuck, but he could have gotten stuck. So not only is he not putting out the fire, it could also be a mechanical fire, which actually water makes worse, right? So I don't. And the fire's still going, so he's driven into a. So now he's not only got could have made the tank, you know, stuck. He also has done nothing to put out the fire, unless you have somebody who's willing to go on the outside and actually pour water on it, which I don't know. It doesn't appear that anybody's doing that. Right now, he's just sitting in the lake with the whole thing on fire, you know? And when that's done, he's not going to be able to get out of the fucking thing again. What if it takes out the tracks? What if it takes out the engine? Are you going to get out of there? You just lost the whole tank. Keeps on fucking burning. Like he's driven into the water. He's driven into the water. That's his plan. That was his master plan. It's still burning. He did nothing against it, you know? I mean... There's absolutely no idea behind driving into the water when the fire is at the top of the tank. Because you can't submerge the tank. You can't just drive the whole tank underneath. Because, you know, what you should have done is get somebody on the outside. But if they're all trapped because of the fire, you know, you're pretty much fucked. I mean, I know there's other doors in the tank. There had to be another door they could take. It just seems, you know, seemed weird. I don't know. That's another classic Russian right there. In Sevastopol, children were kicked out of the Palace of Culture during an air raid. Alarmed there's a shelter in the building, but it turned out to be intended only for employees of the Palace of Culture. Children and their parents were offered to seek shelters outside. Yeah, let me just read this sentence again. Here you have the Russians' logic. Here's the Russian logic for you guys. The children and their parents were offered to seek shelter outside. Now, let me just read that for you one more time. This is Russians right here for you. Children and their parents were offered to seek shelter outside. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you want what? Seek shelter on the outside? What the fuck does that mean? Seek shelter on the outside. You can't, I mean, it's kind of like saying, well, you can be in the bunker. We don't want you in here. So what we're telling you to do is go on the outside of the bunker and seek shelter outside the bunker. Huh? We got a video of it as well. So check it out. So this is their amazing shelter. So that's of course, the employees inside. Very much space for everybody else, but they won't let them inside because they're not employees. So this right here is their shelter, the open sky. That's their shelter. No, they got shelter. They could go on the stairs right there. That's their shelter right there. That's what they can do. They can go on the shelter. That's mess. That's enough shelter for you, right? Women and children.
Написано, что есть укрытие. Спрашиваем охрану. Охрана говорит, ваша фамилия, имя, отчество.
Я не охрана.
Кто вы такой? Вы нас отсюда выгнали, сказали всем выйти отсюда.
Пожарная безопасность я. Пожарник.
Пожарник.
It's
Хорошо,
one
у вас
guy.
нет укрытия?
Есть укрытие.
One guy.
Почему вы людей выгнали на улицу? и
Я
не
главному
пускаете?
инженеру позвонил, он сказал, что только для сотрудников. У вас своих
Всех детей, всех людей выгнали. Всех на улицу выгнали.
It's one guy.
Всех детей, всех людей
That
выгнали.
child is crying right there.
ГТР.
These people have nothing to do with the war, you know? And these people right here, they're Russian, but they have nothing to do with the war. These are children. You know? Many of them, children, nothing to do with the war. You know, and they're denied access because the arrogance of some of these Russians. They have this, the culture of the Russians is very much being the most arrogant idiots on the whole fucking planet. And they've been like that since the fucking Cold War. And it's not a fucking joke. The Russians has always been, like, the fact that they are seen as the most powerful. They're so arrogant, and they've been like that forever, like since forever. It's not even a joke. Like, you go back to some of the earlier history, you can read a history book, and you know that they've been like that for years. Like, it's, I mean, it's really, yeah, it's so fucking stupid. Good morning, world, from Ukraine. Let's start the day off with a happy song from a dance from Golishka. So this is a folk dance from the Ukrainian. I want to show you this, guys, right here. The Ukrainian culture right here. This is a very traditional. I've seen them do this before, but this is another video. Quite the fancy dressing, you know. So check this out. You don't get this in Denmark. Tell you what, you don't get that in Denmark. I'll tell you that much. That's just another way to show you the amazing Ukrainian resilience. Folk dance. Folk dance. Fucking folk dance. There you go. I've got another video for you. Now I don't know if this is a Russian taken video. When you see what it is, you gotta think it's a Russian video. It's a bicycle with a bunch of landmines on it. But the only thing is, he's got blue around him, so he's Ukrainian, which I don't know if he found it from the Russians or what he's doing with it. But I just don't know what the fuck's happening right here. I mean, you could have found it, and it was a Russian that left it behind. That could be something. What the fuck? It's a fucking Russian. I don't know if it's a Russian. I don't see the Ukrainians doing that. It has to be. It seems like they're filming it, so it has to be something that the Russians did. I have no doubt in my mind. It was another night of Russian terror. Russian troops attacked the port of the infrastructure in Odessa. I think this is another one that we saw. So I've got this one more video here of yeah. So these are the videos of them putting out the fire that we saw from earlier. These trucks right here that we saw from the Odessa. If you remember from the start of the stream, this is from today. Now they did put it out, but that right there is the Ukrainian firefighters putting it out. And again, oh, this is the Russian war on grain, you know, food. This is the Russian war on food. These trucks right here are very likely to have been used as either transport of food or okay. Could I please have you leave, Andrew? I very much appreciate you leaving my stream, if that is the word that you want to use. You're gonna be banned, so you're missing out on the best show on the internet. You're gonna miss out on the best show on the internet. I'm gonna watch this right here again. Sorry about that. Yeah, so don't worry. So, taking the pictures of that. These trucks, very likely, are used, you know, to transport grain, to, you know, generally just the things that you know, you need to survive for many things. And that's the Russian war on food right there for you. I mean, that's the Russians for you, you know? It's, yeah, stupid. An explosion range in Polatov region, Polatov RMA, according to the preliminary information, a depressurization occurred in the main gas pipeline in the Lubishkini district. Emergency services are on site. So, got the video for you here. We don't have the video of the close-up. I don't think they were allowed to be close up because I think the gas pipeline was having some malfunctions. This is in Ukraine. This is Polatov, which is a region in... Oh, sorry, this is all in Ukrainian. So Polatov is right there. That's the Polatov region. So that's somewhere. We don't know if this was hands down best on the web. Yeah, exactly. I am the best. So here you go. Massive fire, and apparently it was a depressurization inside of a gas line that caused it to explode. I don't know. Well, obviously it exploded. I mean, obviously it exploded or set alight or whatever happened right there, but it is huge fire. You don't get bigger fires when it comes to that, when you know, than fires like gas pipelines or stuff like that, because you know it's a constant feed of just fresh igniting, right? It's going to have a lighter, and you know that lighter is being kept alight because of the constant feed it's getting. It's kind of like it's kind of like a fire that's really well oxygenated. You know, it's never gonna, and if you keep adding wood to it, it's never gonna stop. You know, so that's kind of like how a gas pipeline, when that explodes, it can be really dangerous. You know, obviously the first option is to turn it off, and then, you know, then you got to deal with the fire. The war in Ukraine will last until 2025, Shoki said at the board meeting of the Russian Defense Ministry. So yeah, so he said that. I just want to. So I've actually been confirmed today that one day in Russia takes a year, because Russia said, and this was in 2022. Keep in mind here, they said this war was gonna take 3 days. So if we're talking 2023, 2024, and 2025, that's 3 years. So one day in Russia takes a year. Apparently, that's how they calculated it. So apparently, in 2025, the war's going to end. And that's actually because they completed their military goal of a 3-day war. Because in the Russian calendar, 3 days is 3 years, right? That's how, yeah, exactly. I just, you know, makes sense. Like, did you think, what? Yeah. So I've got some reported on this, and this was the report on how many was shot down. So overnight, Russian terrorists attacked Mykolaiv, Kharkov, Chechnykas, and Odessa region with 38 shaded drones. 26 of them were shot down. So not... You did miss a troll, but well, we got rid of that. So not 98% or 96%, but up in the near range of 70% of the drones dying. I mean, it is significant. I mean, 38 out of the 26. Sorry. 26 out. Sorry. No. How do you put that? Well, no. 38 out of 26. No. How do you say that? The remaining drones landed in the territory. What's left of the drones, I could have calculated it. Of course, that's how you probably put it. Infrastructure objects in Kerchi and Odessa region were damaged. The drones also hit the area that we talk about, the ferry crossing. 2 people were injured, and these people were, and these are just other pictures of the area here again. So these are the trucks, and this is another picture of the truck just completely destroyed. You've seen them put them out. It's the same picture there, but I believe this may have been in Chechny's region, as there's been some kind of massive attack there as well. So last night we had a little bit of a scare because there was a lot of stuff happening, and Flash was talking about the use of ballistic missiles. So it doesn't appear that it may have been ballistic, that it was in fact a mass out drone attack that did cause a good amount. And the Russians have done experiments on avoiding Ukrainian air defense. However, it is still not succeeding them. However, the 38, the 26 that they shot down is good, but it was 38 in total, so they still had a lot to land it. So, yeah. But it's the damn Russians, right? Those damn commies. The Defense of Ukraine reported this. Thank you very much. The Defense of Ukraine. Several Russian FSS officers, border guards, and soldiers were killed during the RDC battle in Kirk's region. This was stated by the head of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, Badanov, I think his name, I don't know. The activities of the RDC and other units will continue to develop as will the scale of events related to these activities. Badanov said, this reported by Flash. And these special Russian, fights, you actually saw videos of it, and you guys, I showed you the videos of it. So we believe that the Ukrainian special forces, or some kind of intelligence force with guns, is operating deep within Russian territories, gathering not only intelligence, but putting up an active fight against and disrupting operations. No more can you put words on it, because I don't know anymore. I'm not an intelligence professor here, but something's happening, and we know that they're there. We actually know it for a while. I showed you some video earlier back of this area in Russia that got taken over by some soldiers in uniform that we didn't know who was, but apparently that in fact was. Oh, okay. So Air Force One is off. So if he might have landed by now, because yeah. But yeah. So hallelujah, right? Hallelujah. Something's happening with the deep within. And actually, there was 2 men that was arrested, and they were actually from Ukrainian special services, or forces, how you put it, intelligence services. And one of them, it was straight out of a movie, and they were arrested in Belarus, and one of them actually had a pistol with a suppressor on it. I swear to God, I found it. Like, I had it somewhere today, and I looked at it. I think it's from Belarus. What the fuck is Belarus? Swear to God, I had it just a second ago here. No, it's here. I know it's here. There we go. There it is. What was it? Here it is. Check this out. So, KGB of Belarus claims detaining 3 saboteurs cells of the security services of Ukraine. So 3 of them, right? And they actually were carrying around guns with suppressors on it. I mean, this world we're living in, it just blows my mind because it's straight out of a fucking action movie nowadays. I mean, we're living in a world where spies are like being discovered and are deep within enemy territory. It makes me feel like a child because it's like no, but it's real. Like, it's actually like we're discovering spies with suppressed guns and like they're operating and gathering intelligence inside enemy lines. It's straight out of the fucking movie, and I'm reporting on it, and I'm alive. Like, it's like it's out of a movie. That says I enjoyed so much. I really enjoyed so much. I mean, it's amazing because I mean all of this is straight out of a fucking movie, isn't it? It really is. Yeah. All right. Let me get the bus down right here. So, moving on here. The BMP-1 hit by the 3 AT mines and crew by artillery. So we got another video here of some commie weapons being destroyed. I'm actually going to start calling the Russians commies, despite the fact that they're not communists anymore. They're bordering the edge of communist. So I'm gonna call them commies from now on. Oh, can't play the music right there. There you go. So that's and look how destroyed it's gonna get. Boom. There you go. And that was hit by an artillery system. It's just funny that how precise the Ukrainians have begun becoming with these strikes. It's amazing just how precise they've started to become with these artillery strikes. Oh, those guys are getting hurt a bit there. We're gonna skip forward just a tiny bit here. Yeah, you get it. I don't think I can show the rest of that. But we can show the start of it, or at least some of it there. But yeah, it's amazing just how precise the Ukrainians are with their. I mean, that's one shell just took off, one rocket just killed. What was that, Boris? Maybe $1 million or less, 500,000 maybe. But that was one shell that cost $1,000 or something, less than that to make. It just took out that, or a missile that took $2,000 or something like that. It's insane, when you think about it. And although the Russians did mass destruction against the Ukrainian ports and area yesterday, it has been reported that Ukraine destroyed worth of $7 million of Russian equipment overnight. And this was just one night. The Russians destroyed some ports and damaged, but the Ukrainians destroyed the Russian equipment worth $7 million. And the official estimate from experts is that they have actually found out, and this was found out, that the Russians have maybe spent upwards of $1 trillion worth of equipment and failure and all kinds of things, that they've almost spent upwards of $1 trillion. I think it may be a bit of an overestimate. I think it may be 1 trillion rubles. Could be true. I'm not sure. It's a lot of money, and 1 trillion is a lot for any country to spend on anything. But it's certainly up in the hundreds of billions if it's, around that point. So that's, but we'll watch this right here. And this was just from tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, that's Big Bro on the beat.
So this was just from tonight. Well, look at the track right there. So they didn't try and get away, and that's definitely a Russian tank right there. You can see it's a Russian tank. Boom. You thought you were done? No. That's this T-72 right there they took out. Boom, again. I mean, Jesus. I just love it. I love it. I love to see infrared. And especially because the Ukrainians have become so great at fucking have become so great at operating at night. But the Russians, again, None of the Russians have night equipment. They like to boast that their new armor and all kinds of things had night equipment, but none of them actually did. The start of them, the actual first forces, those 200,000 men that was sent in to invade Ukraine to start with, they had night vision, and that was true, but they don't have. They're not giving out night equipment to Russian soldiers anymore. You can bet your ass they're not giving out night equipment to any Russian soldiers or any kind of night equipment, that can actually operate. That's very scarce because the Russians are keeping that, on the back lines because it costs a lot. That's a lot of expensive equipment right there that they don't want to be lost. But yeah. Some other news for Ukraine here. The Swiss upper house passed a decision to approve the sale of 25 Leopard 2A4s to Rheinmetall with the condition that they're not transferred to Ukraine by 25 votes to 15 with 3 abstentions. Earlier, the lower house already approved the commission. Now, federal council approved it's needed, which is believed to be a formality. So, don't know why they're selling Leopards to a private company or Rheinmetall, and they don't want it to be given to Ukraine for some reason. But the Swiss are giving out stuff. I don't know why they have such a, yeah. But maybe it's the whole thing, because maybe the Rheinmetall can then sell it to Germany or somebody like that, and that can then sell it to Ukraine or give it to Ukraine. Maybe that's like a loophole, Maybe we'll see. Because Rheinmetall, I've showed you a video earlier. Rheinmetall is the ones that are actually actively supplying the Ukrainians with some of the most advanced medical centers that the Ukrainians have. They have some really advanced medical centers, and a lot of that. And a lot of that is actually supplied by Rheinmetall. They make these really great medical equipment for the Ukrainian army. Part of the reason why the Ukrainians live to tell the tale is because of what Rheinmetall is giving them. So they're great guys, and I really want to stand behind what Rheinmetall does. So thank you very much to Rheinmetall. Rheinmetall! There you go. In Kherson, the security services of Ukraine detained a Kherson priest of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarch. I don't know. He was secretly selling weapons and ammunition. A priest, by the way, was selling weapons and ammunition left over from the Russians during the Ukrainian counteroffensives. Employees of the SSU caught the priest when he was attempting to sell 2 portable anti-aircraft systems with components. In addition to these, the priest proposed to purchase ammunition for the RPG-7. The seller estimated the cost of such defeats at 150,000 hryvnias, the Ukrainian currency. The priest faces up to 7 years of prison. A priest of the Russian Orthodox, or at least the Orthodox Church in Kherson, was caught selling weapons to the Russians. It's just truth to tell you that you don't all the time know who you're dealing with. So this right here is the priest being detained. He doesn't look very much like a priest. I mean, he looks, look at his hair as well. He looks much like the kind of guy that But this also right here means that the Russians does somewhat have system working inside of does have people working inside of Ukraine, or somewhat, at least. Some Russian sympathizers, at least. There you go, that's an RPG right there. He came out with an RPG right there. That's ammunition right there. So they've been storing it in houses they didn't expect it before, and digging it down and stuff like that. I mean, that, it's a lot of stuff. What's that over there? The old knives or something like that? I don't know. But he had bullets. He had, holy shit, That was fucking... Jesus. A fucking priest as well. It's so weird. Leopard 2 is the flagship of the tank coalition. It's already in service with the armed forces of Ukraine and helps Ukraine win the war against Russia. Leopard 2 has a 220mm gun that can fire non-stop and use a variety of ammunition. Leopard 2 has a powerful firepower, armor, and technology that surpasses Soviet and earlier Russian tanks. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to surpass a Russian tank. I'll tell you that much. So here you go. We got a little cool video here for you guys. Boom, boom. Oh, that's from Denmark. Yeah, that's a Leopard 2 tank right there from Denmark. Probably training videos. I don't know if these are training videos of the Ukrainian army, but it could be. That smoke screen. Ugh. That's what you get. That's what the Russians are staring down. They're staring down the business end of a fucking Leopard 2 tank. I wouldn't want to do that anytime in my life. Low-level Ukrainian Su-27. Oh, what the fuck? Low-level Su-27 flanker operation with the 37th Tactical Aviation Brigade. Another cool video for you. Again, we are here to learn. We're here to learn. So this is how it looks against in a Su-27. Check this out. So again, can't show that music because copyrighted, but you get it. But there you are. And look how fast they're moving. I mean, it must be a dangerous yet very amazing job. You know, it's dangerous no matter what. It's holy shit. You know. So I mean, Israel is operating. Of course, I do wish to see. I do wish to see. You're learning lots. That's good to know. You learn. Sorry. I do wish to see the day that we're gonna see a video of that being an F-35. I would love to see that one day. Hopefully one day you get to see that. You guys saw that video, right? You guys just saw the video I showed, right? Did I forget to show it? I hope I did. God, sometimes I forget. You guys, yes, all right, okay, good. Today's staffs included a report on Russian military industrial complex. We see where pressure must be ramped up to deprive Russia of means of terror. Sanctions must be increased, including Ukrainian-owned actions. As long as Russian aggression lasts, Russian losses must be felt. So this is from Zelensky right here. I want to show you a video from Zelensky that posted out today. It's a 5-minute long video here. I'm gonna play it, despite how much I know you may be bored. I wouldn't be bored listening to Zelensky. He's talking about some good stuff right here. It's learning, and I'm gonna make you watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna make you watch it. Although you shouldn't see it as a make, you should see it as an experience. I'm gonna go get something to drink, and I'm gonna be right back after that video.
Шановні українці, українки, звіт за цей день провів ставку, кілька головних питань. Перше, конкретна ситуація на фронті, наші наступальні дії, оборонні операції, важливі доповіді по Сходу, Півдню. Також по знищенню логістики та штабів окупантів. Є хороші деталі, гучні деталі. Я дякую усім українським воїнам, які відзначились. Друге, забезпечення снарядами. Це тематика, якою займаємось щоденно, постачання від партнерів, пошук нових можливостей у світі. І ми чітко знаємо, як забезпечити постачання та поступово збільшуємо обсяги нашого українського виробництва. Це один із топових пріоритетів. Сьогодні, до речі, окрім доповідей на ставці, була і окрема нарада з Мінстратегпромом, була на ставці окрема змістовна доповідь розвідки щодо ситуації в російському ВПК. Чітко бачимо, які напрямки тиску на Росію мають бути посилені, аби терористичні можливості не зростали. Санкцій недостатньо. Буде більше. Наших власних українських дій проти держави-терориста теж буде більше. Поки триватиме агресія Росії, повинні відчуватись і втрати Росії. І обов'язково наша робота з партнерами, аби закінчити війну на українських умовах, на основі нашої формули миру, цілком справедливою. Сьогодні зустрівся з головою Національної ради Австрії. Він був з візитом в Україні. Детально обговорили наші зусилля, аби світова більшість приєдналась до реалізації формули миру. Я ціную, що Австрія готова приєднатися. Звичайно, обговорили і наш європейський рух. Я поінформував про реалізацію Україною 7 рекомендацій Єврокомісії, і ми дуже розраховуємо на подальшу підтримку Австрією української європейської інтеграції. Ще одне. Кожної доби російські терористи б'ють по наших містах і селах ракетами та шахедами. Майже щоночі в українському небі знищуються десятки дронів, різні типи ракет. На жаль, бувають влучання, є падіння уламків, і незмінно наші рятувальники, наші поліцейські, лікарі, волонтери, комунальники, всі екстрені служби працюють 24/7, аби допомогти людям та зберегти нашу інфраструктуру. Я хочу подякувати сьогодні саме таким людям, які відзначились цими тижнями. На Одещині, в Полтавській області, на Черкащині, працівники ДСНС Одеської області, головний майстер-сержант Олексій Жаборюк, сержант Сергій Чобу, сержант Олександр Велєв, працівники Одеської поліції, полковник В'ячеслав Барба, майор Микола Перекрестов, пожежні Одеської філії адміністрації морських портів України, старший пожежний Геннадій Майстренко, пожежний Андрій Когут. Я дякую вам усім, хлопці, за вашу роботу. ДСНС України в Полтавській області, сержант Євген Білокобильський та Володимир Смик, капітан Сергій Криченко. Дякую вам. Поліція Полтавщини, старший лейтенант Антон Триголов та капітан Олег Нікіша. Ксенія Кушко, лікарка бригади Полтавського обласного центру екстреної медичної допомоги та медицини катастроф. Ігор Гевеля, фельдшер. Полтавські волонтери Тетяна Шаховцева та Ігор Штефан. Я дякую вам за вашу сміливість. Черкаси. Ранок 20 вересня, удар по місту, по готелю Черкаси. Працівники ДСНС України в Черкаській області. Підполковник Дмитро Мокієнко, головний майстер-сержант Микола Олійник, сержант Андрій Куцевол, Черкаська поліція. Підполковник Володимир Брелаха, старший лейтенант Вадим Рубан. Я дякую, хлопці, вам. Черкаська обласна організація Українського товариства Червоного Хреста. Голова організації Юлія Холодна. Дякую вам за допомогу. Лікарка швидкої Олександра Екзархо. Дякую. Черкаські комунальники Михайло Васильєв та Дмитро Задорожній. Дякую вам. Дякую усім, хто невтомно працює заради людей, хто виконує свою роботу, таку, яка допомагає всій державі виконувати свою роботу. Слава кожному і кожній, хто додає Україні сили. Слава усім, хто б'ється. Слава Україні!
All right. The president of Ukraine here talking. I've got a really interesting plane up here right now. It's at a altitude of almost 50,000 feet in the air. It's doing circles just outside Washington, and right next to it is a 747-200. Sorry, 757-200. Maybe a drone right here, but it's at an altitude, it's going down right now, but it's at 46,000 feet in the air, which is very high up. So I believe it may be a drone or some kind of special aircraft right now that's doing roundabout just outside Washington. We're going to keep monitoring on that. Soldiers of the 3rd Assault Brigade shooting down a Russian UAV using FIM-92 Stinger MPAD in the Klishivka and Rivka area near Donetsk, Bakhmut. Oh, Bakhmut. I know you liked him that much, Witchy. Call him Dreamy. No, he is a very handsome man. Check this out, guys. This is how they take down these terrible kamikaze drones. It goes up, and there you go. Boom. Yeah. So well done there again. That's how they do it. Hand grenade under the bullet magazine. For all fans to pick up different junk on enemy positions, I'm showing you a basic version that you can expect there. Ukrainian. So, if you are to ever go to Ukraine, any of you, the Russians can be some slippery assholes, if you didn't already know. This is one of the things that they like to do. So check this out. This is a magazine right here. Underneath it is a grenade.
Для всіх любителів піднімати різний мотлох на ворожих позиціях. Показую елементарний варіант, який вас може там очікувати.
So, I mean, so obviously this grenade is not live. I can point that out. But this is one of the things that not only the Russians are leaving behind. I mean, the Ukrainians may be doing just some of the things, but they wouldn't be needing to leave anything behind. But that right there is something that you could be expecting, because the Ukrainians might think this right here is a magazine for a AK-47. They got an AK-47. Why not bring it along? It looks fine. Let's check it out. Let's pick it up. You know, maybe it's got bullets in it. You know, very rational thought. Underneath it is a, and the thing is holding down the grenade. And as soon as you pick it up, there you go. That pumps up, and that grenade will go off. Pins out, and that goes off. The grenade will go off, and it'll go off in the person's face or feet. You know, and that is something that you want to watch out for. I'm not thinking any of you are gonna go to Ukraine. I just want to say, if the likelihood that anybody watches this video right here, that right there is something you gotta watch out for. And it's one of the few, one of the very, like 1% of what the Russians does. But just know in your mind that whatever is on the Russian side, be very careful when you do it, because they are some slippery fucking bastards. That's what they are. Really slippery. Well, it's descending now. 46,000. Some things. I mean, the only thing I know that goes that far up, I know the U-2, the spy plane, that goes to 50,000. A drone usually flies at 40, and I don't know if it can do 50, but I guess it can. Whatever's doing 50,000, almost 50,000 feet in the air right there, well, before, it's something, because it was far up. Whatever that was. A long way up. The SSU exposed a Russian informant who called intelligence on Ukraine troops and critical infrastructure on the border with the Russian Federation. According to the investigation, the enemy informant is a local resistant who, during the occupation of the part of the region, came into the view of the invaders due to his pro-Kremlin views. The intruder drew from the aggressor the schemes of local railway routes along which cargo and echelons, okay, so where the cargo comes through. In addition, he collected information about the objects of energy infrastructure of the regional center. So here is the average Russian man. The same thing. They all wear the same. He's bald, of course. That's the average Russian way of looking. So they all look very much the same. And he's a pro-Kremlin. Apparently he is. He's got some pro-Kremlin views. He gave away, not only did he give away, positions of Ukrainian, but he also gave away cargo movements and all that stuff. Stuff that you would need when you're an enemy that wants to fight a war and you want to make sure that the cargo going to the Ukrainian lines are not going to the Ukrainian lines, and when these people tell them, that's what happens. But the Ukrainians are getting exceptionally good at finding them and getting them out of there. So if you are in Ukraine right now, if you don't want to get arrested, just believe in the Ukrainians. It's very simple. Really, it's really, very, very fucking simple. Not, so just want to point that out. Well, if any of you didn't know that, I'm sure all of you do. Laser instead of searchlight. So, this video right here is a video of them trying to shooting down a kamikaze drone. So check this out. This is how it can look like when they're trying to shoot this down. It is a firefight. Look at that. So that searchlight right there is the thing that you may see in the sky sometimes. It's good to use it to illuminate where it is. That right there is the air defense. Apparently that did not hit it, which unfortunately does happen. But they got those air lights right there that followed it along. That's somebody's job right there. I don't know if it's automated. It could be somebody's job. I don't know. It could be automated. But there you go. Sometimes they hit it, sometimes they don't. They move pretty fast. But that's the barrage of sheer air defense systems that the Ukrainians have, and this is from the Ukrainian side. So and that's why it's so lucky if you make it through with a drone nowadays, because I think it's sheer luck that none of the bullets didn't hit that. So that's why it's only when they fire off these amount of drones, it's so rare for them to actually be shot down. But one of the things that is happening nowadays is actually the idea that some of the Russians, at least what they're doing, is shooting one that looks like a straight ahead shot to try and draw away some of the Ukrainian fire, and they'll shoot maybe two at a time. They'll shoot a lot of the time. Some of them they will shoot straight ahead because they know those are going to be shot down, and the Ukrainians are going to focus on those, and the other ones are going to go around. That's why whenever they fire it off, usually at least one of them gets through. At least their idea behind it. The Flak Panzer Gepard proved last night once again why it is one of the best systems in the world to destroy low-flying objects. Those shaded were destroyed with just a few bursts. So this is a system provided by Germany, the Flakabast. And just want to point out here, guys, that if you are going to say anything about a German thing, you always have to say it very aggressively. So the Flakpanzer is something that is given to the Ukrainians. There you go. That's how you do it because it's German. So it's got to be very aggressive when you do it. Jesus Christ, look at that. It's so precise too. That one shot right there took it down. One burst right there. Took it down. Well fucking done, boys. And it's fast, it's durable, and it's precise, and that's why you love it. All right, well, we got a list of the as of September 26th. So here you go. 400 plus Russian soldiers. This is Russian losses, by the way. 5 tanks, 19 armored vehicles, 39 artillery systems. Holy scheisse. 1 mobile launch rocket system, 29 drones, 11 cruise missiles. Holy shit. 7 special equipment, and 17 vehicles and fuel tanks. That is a lot right there. 29 drones. And we knew that. That's probably because of the Odessa raid. Holy shit. Goddamn. Well, Bulgarian parliament approved a bill on the free transfer of unservable S-300 air defense missiles to Ukraine. Sofia was not able to repair these missiles, but Ukraine noted its readiness to put into service. So, Ukraine is also receiving S-300 systems from Bulgaria, which I believe may be for this cold era. But they are S-300 systems, air defense systems. Same thing that the Russians use, so... But, it also depends what hands they're in. And if they're in Ukrainian hands, you bet they're going to be a bit better. The Security Council of Ukraine directed fire at the headquarters of the Russian troops near Kherson, where the meeting was held. There was 7th Divisions of the Russian Airborne Force. The attack was made on September 19th. 8 Russian officers were eliminated and 7 others were wounded. I've got a video of that. Check this out. Looks like to be a convoy moving down a road right there. Look down here, those convoy road right there, and that's the house. So apparently that was some kind of headquarters or some kind of house that they were loading up in. Boom! There you go. That's gotta hurt. That's taken from the sky, but look at the shadow. That is huge. You know, that's a huge explosion. That's gotta hurt right there. That's gotta hurt. I think they followed them all the way, and then they just, as soon as they got into the house, they were like, "Oh, finally I can sit down, I can relax," and then boom, just some Russian soldier's been fighting all day, finally got home. You know, he's just sitting down in his chair now. He's like, "Oh, I can relax right now," and then fucking dead right there, fucking commies. All right, there we go. That's enough. Calm down, calm down. This is Pete from Constantine thanking the Macedo Orc Hunters and NAFO for the medical ambulance who we delivered to Kramatorsk last week. Godspeed, we can only do more. Wish we can only do more. So, this is maybe a Ukrainian volunteer talking here in Ukraine. He looks like it. He looks like one of those tough guys. But you're going to watch this video here and you're going to like it.
Good day, everybody. My name is Peter. Hasta la vista. From Project Constantine, we are frontline medevac unit, inserted with brigades on the front lines outside Bakhmut. For a short amount of time, we've been communicating and asking the world for frontline medical evacuation vehicles. We're inserted with ZSU brigades. We assist them with our vehicles and with our medical knowledge and our personnel. We assist them with medical evacuations. Oftentimes they get inundated. And we put a broadcast out to the world some time ago asking for medical vehicles because their vehicles, the army's vehicles, get blown up and destroyed by these terrible roads and by the bombs all the time. NAFO 69th Sniffing Brigade very kindly came.
The guy recording this video apparently went for a run before going in. Sorry about that.
They've gone out of their way for us. I mean, they stripped the partition out of the back. They've put a professional deck on the floor. They've raised the stretchers, the bed spot. There's packing space underneath. We've got this is gold in any ambulance, in any frontline medical ambulance, in any frontline evacuation vehicle. These organizers are absolutely gold. They are just, you don't have to dig in your vest for your equipment or in your backpack. It's all there. This is beautiful. The way they've raised the roof. There's so much room in here. You could stand up and do CPR on the patient. An incredibly professional stretcher, and they've gone out of their way. They've even put a heater in with digital control for the winter. There's lighting. There's all sorts of gadgets. You open the rear of the door, and it just, the pneumatic riser. It works beautifully. And they took their time, they painted it. Mercado Media got involved. They've really gone out of their way for us, guys. And I want to say to the world, you've got the Army, you've got the Navy, and you've got the Air Force in Ukraine, and then you've got 69th Sniffing Brigade. They're like the 4th armed service of Ukraine. The amount of vehicles they bring in, they drive in these huge convoys. They go all over Europe, siphoning up all the good vehicles and purchasing them good, and they spend a lot of money. These are not off the bottom shelf vehicles. These are good quality vehicles, and I've been through this one, and we're going to be working closely with this unit in the forest. They are positioned very close to where we are, and we'll be helping each other, and we'll get more videos for us doing evacs with this vehicle. Thank you to NAFO, thank you to Dimitro, Anya, all the wonderful people that we've met there. Thank you for helping to save Ukrainian soldiers from death's door. You guys are heroes. God bless you. Love from Peter and the front lines of Ukraine. God bless.
There you go. So that is the newest equipment there. Not only that, but Rheinmetall has, as was mentioned before, these huge medical centers. But the amount of good quality systems coming into Ukraine, not only do we realize in this war, have we realized that the ability to have not only hygiene, but functioning life, food that is good. There was a food truck, a video from a food truck that was given to some Ukrainian frontline soldiers. That was just, I mean, next level kitchen that was just, that was developed by a Ukrainian. I think it was DJ or a cook or something like that, and he developed that kitchen to be able to feed those Ukrainian. And now we got this guy here who's a medic. God bless him. He sounds British. Be right back. All right. He sounds British. Maybe Australian. But maybe he sounds a little Australian. He's a medic, I think, and he's gonna save some lives. Or doctor. He could be a doctor, medical doctor or something. Combat medic. So, just great to see that they're getting the proper equipment that they need to survive and fight in this war right here. I am that guy filming the video there. he was really breathing heavily, but he did a good job filming as well. So shout out to that guy as well. But I think he was also a doctor or a medic or something like that. But they're showing out the vehicle. There's a really great video coming out from Ukraine there, just to see the quality at the level of the quality of what they have done and what they're doing is amazing. So thank you to, and that was a great video. So thank you to those guys. What was that? Mikado Media, yeah. Mikado Allkunders or Mikado Media. Shout out to those guys. Great job. Okay. Well, our boys froze presents to the occupiers. So this is a video of, I think, another thing getting destroyed right here. Oh no, it's not. All right, check this out. So this is a artillery piece right here. This is how they fire it. Boom, right there. It's got to put some lead in you. That's gonna put some lead in some Russian soldiers right there. It's gonna hurt. That's their artillery positions. Boom, right there. Love to see them fired off. It's so powerful, Look at the blast just right there. It's amazing. If you ever want to watch, go to YouTube and search up like a slow-mo video of an artillery system firing off. It's amazing because you just see the bullet go off and you see the speed in which it goes off in, and you know it's gonna hurt. Okay, so we have a video here. We can maybe we can do that later. Again, maybe later. Polish crap 155 millimeter. So this is a Polish system donated, I believe, by Poland, probably. Totally piece system right here. So check this out. And it's gonna fire here in a second. Boom, there you go. And this right here is an amazing piece of equipment that also, again, 155 millimeters. That's gotta hurt, Another video of it, I think, firing again. Boom. You can fire multiple rounds. I mean, it goes fast. It's they put out one position to get that position ready. The next day they're gone, or at least somewhere else, and move around. They shoot them out and they do all the good stuff right there. So they're great. Those guys are great. Thank you so much. And that's a great video right there as well. There was some news that came out, so it didn't surprise me, but I want to read it to you as well. Ukraine will not use attack missiles on Russian territory. Ukraine's Secretary of National Security and Air Defense Council, Oleksiy Danilov, said in an interview with ABC, we will not use them on Russian territory. We have agreements on this issue with our partners. This was reported by the Kyiv Post. So he says that they will not be using it on territory, and this has been one of the main concern of the USR, or at least from the US side, this being used. However, who was it? It was Blinken, I think. He said that, however, Ukraine uses these ATACMS system is up to themselves. So I think Blinken and at least some of the U.S. officials in the high stance has stated that they don't really care as much. Well, I think they care, but they've stated that they're not really, going to involve themselves in how Ukraine uses the artillery system or the systems that they were given by the U.S. So they're not going to involve themselves in how they're using them. It's been before, in the start of the war when we did provide system to us. That was some of the main concern that people that at least they had, the idea of them using it for the purpose of striking inside Russia. But nowadays, it's happened so many times that they're starting to realize that it's not something we need to be worried about. And in fact, it can not only disrupt systems that are working inside of Russia, the oil deports and railroads and equipment that are going to the front that's keeping the Russian war going. Is the idea that if they're able to put that out with the precision striking of the HIMARS would be something, and the Ukrainians, I have no doubt in my mind, would not start using them on strategic, would only use them on strategic military targets. The only problem you have with cluster munitions is that it sometimes has a big spread and can spread to other areas, but that's up to them, to limit. So what we got here. Got a RC. A lot of spatial. Yeah, there we go. Well, we just track Air Force One, I guess. It's about to land anyways. But yeah, that's what they're doing right now. All right, well let's read on here. I got a big list right here to read, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Ukraine is completing the implementation of all recommendations of the European Commission of the governmental levels and is waiting for the start of the negotiation. This was announced by the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Denis Shimahal. I don't know. We expect that in October, Ukraine will receive a positive assessment within the framework of report of the EU enlargement package. And then there will be the European Council voting, which will open the way to negotiation on our country's accession to the EU, says the Prime Minister of Ukraine. The American corporation General Dynamics is considering the possibility of producing ASCOD armor personnel carriers jointly with Ukrainian armor. The versatility of the ASCOD platform can be equipped with a variety of weapon systems, combat module with a 30mm automatic cannon and a 40mm grenade launchers, turret with 105mm or 120mm cannons, and anti-tank guided missile systems. The company specializes together with Armed Forces of Ukraine, the State Research Institute of Testing and Certification of the Weapons and Military Equipment, and specialist of the Czechoslovak group. Yeah, that's what it's called. Visited the production facilities of the General Dynamic European Land System, a Europe subsidiary of the American corporation General Dynamic Arthur, in Trubia, Spain, where they got acquainted with the unique production of wheeled and track vehicles using a state-of-the-art technology and in accordance with the NATO standards. Ukrainian military personnel tested the APC to combat dynamic properties of the ASCOD with the existing equipment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. This means that as one of the leading private enterprises in Ukraine, Ukrainian armor has a huge credit of trust among the international partners. So not only is the Ukrainian moving forward in the world on the military stage, which before it kind of was. I mean, the AN 125, 124s Ukrainian-made planes produced big cargo planes that are used by countries like Azerbaijan, many Middle Eastern countries. Welcome back, Richie. So the fact that Ukraine is moving from before being seen as a sort of very third grade kind of military to nowadays being a military with a lot of military experience, and a lot of the bigger corporation wanting to work with them because they now know about, war, and they know about the Russian, so they can combat the abilities of the Russians, so they can blah blah blah. So it's great to see the Ukrainians are moving up in the world. All right, well, let's move on to some Russian news right here. There's some special things happening in Russia today, so we're gonna move on to that in a second. Lavrov, Finland by joining NATO simply trampled its reputation and joined the anti-Russian project of the United States. Yeah, exactly. No. So Lavrov, of course, is running his high horse right now on the idea that any country that joins NATO is trying to ruin Russia. Yeah. No shit, dingus. No, but the idea is that any country that has a democratic people, or people of the country, should be allowed to pick which which alliance they want to be part of. Not the leaders, the people. The people have spoken. They want to be part of NATO. Therefore, it is not a aggression or like a expansionism. It is simply the people's vote to be part of a organized military alliance that can offer them stability and safety. That's the thing they've done, and that's the thing we gotta respect. Russia doesn't, obviously. They never respected anything. Medvedev, who's the former Russian president, and I've got it. I want to put his statement in here just to see, because some people have said that they wish that Medvedev was still in charge, so this would have happened. I just want to say that Medvedev is probably more Medvedev, or whatever his name is probably more crazy than what Putin is. I've got a statement from him right here, just so you can see how crazy he is. It says, NATO has turned into an openly fascist bloc like Hitler's Axis. Russia is left with fewer and fewer choices other than direct conflict with NATO. We're ready, although the result will be achieved as much greater cost to humanity than in 1945. So, yeah. He's calling us fascists, I mean, he's convinced that NATO is a fascist out to destroy Russia. It's, yeah, he's far-fetched from reality, It's reported that the commander of the Russian Black Sea Fleet was present at the board of the Minister of Defense. Now, the weird thing about this guy is that this man right here is reported to be dead, and in fact, he was supposed to have been killed during the attack on the Sevastopol headquarters in Crimea, the attack that happened on the 22nd of September. So he was supposed to have been dead, but there has been a video that was posted today. However, I want to show you the video so you can see just how far-fetched the video is, because it is not, the video doesn't match together. It's weird, and lip sync apparently, something like that. And in one scene right here, he has glasses on, and the other he doesn't. So let me just show you the video so you can see what he's talking about.
Несколько слов по каждому из вопросов. С 2021 года Министерство обороны совместно с Министерством науки и высшего образования занимается созданием.
And here you go. So now he's talking, right? That's the Russian Black Sea Commander supposed to be dead. They're now saying it could be from today, but check out the video. He doesn't have glasses on right there. He could have taken them off. Everything else is the same. Everything else is the same, but he could have taken off the glasses while we weren't looking. But listen to the sound and listen to the lip
созданием военно-учебных центров.
The lips doesn't match.
В прошлом году приступили к работе 16 таких подразделений.
They clip back to him again the same day, and now he has glasses on. That is Shoki. Yeah, that is the defense. That's Joint Chief Military. He's the defense minister. So check this out. So he doesn't have glasses on doing the meeting right here. That he doesn't have glasses on. He's not looking down into his paper. He doesn't have paper in his hand. That's a Russian Black Sea Commander who's supposed to be dead, but he's apparently right there.
Созданием военно-учебных центров.
The voice is not matching
В прошлом
over.
году приступили к работе 16.
And then clip back to video again where he has his glasses on and is reading down into a paper. So I don't know if they put in a clip from today, but it was just overlap with what was happening right there. But either way, it's a weird video, and now they're debating whether or not that Black Sea commander really is dead, because they said he was dead, but apparently he now isn't. I don't know. I mean, as far as we know, he's dead, and as far as we know, that video right there is bogus. So yeah, doesn't matter. I want to show you a video here, and this is some Russian propagandist right here, and I think they're in Canada, which is a weird thing. So check this out. We Putin's troops can see that.
что к власти в Канаде пришли фашисты.
Fascists have come to power in Canada. This is clearly fascism, and we need to do something about it. Something must be done.
Что-то делать. Мы не можем допустить такого положения. Надо предпринять все возможное. Санкции, осуждение или еще что-то. Но такой фашизм у нас не пройдет.
Я предлагаю вернуть базы на Кубу. И не одну, а 2-3. Вот тогда будет мир.
Выбора нет. Кажется, пора вернуть Аляску России.
Наши корабли должны патрулировать все берега Америки. Тогда я буду спать спокойно. И не только я.
Чтобы эффективно противостоять фашизму, надо наладить военные отношения с Мексикой, чтобы этот фашизм не распространился дальше. Надо создать военный союз с Мексикой.
Пока не сменится власть в Канаде, мы должны заблокировать выход в Северный Ледовитый океан этой стране.
Поскольку в Америке выборы нечестные, поэтому они не смогут противостоять такой силе, которая по всему миру распространяется. И мы хотели бы все это остановить.
Мы из отряда Путина. Мы за мир. И дружбу эту пронесем по всему свету.
Мы спасем Северную Америку от фашизма. Да, да, да!
We'll save America from fascism. We'll save America from fascism, she says. You should start in your own country. You should start in your own country, and then you can move on to something else. A Russian partisan set fire to a Russian flag in Chemimik, Moscow suburbs. So here is the obvious choice here, right? Many people hate Russia. The damn commies. So this is the obvious that every Russian loves Russia right here. Of course, they wouldn't set fire to a flag inside of Moscow. This is in Moscow. Of course, they wouldn't set fire to a flag inside Moscow. There he goes. That he's catching him up right there. He set flag to a fucking Russian. He set fire to a flag. Set fire to a Russian flag inside of the Moscow suburbs. That is clear proof right there to you. Putin is preparing for eternal war. Spending on the army in the Russian budget will increase to records since the time of the USSR. The Moscow Times, the army and the factories of the military industrial complex will eat up almost every third ruble, 29.5%. And I believe it's going to be much more than that. I believe it's going to get close to 50% very soon. So that's cool and all. We had some China news right here. The Chinese Coast Guard versus Filipino fisherman. A Filipino fisherman who tried to enter Baijiu, the Masinloc or Scarecrow, I don't know, read that. To fish was chased and had to path cut by a Chinese Coast Guard boat in the Philippines exclusive zone in the South China Sea. So the exclusive zone is where they're allowed to fish and get their money from the exclusive profits, right? So they had their path cut off by a Chinese vessel who was working outside of their own jurisdiction. Just want to point that out. They were working outside their own jurisdiction. They had nothing to do there. They don't own that water. And this is, again, just to teach you what it is that the Chinese do to people just trying to live. They call us out. They call us, as we say, we're the enemies of the world. They keep saying that. We say nothing against them, but they keep, doing all this stupid fucking bullshit where they keep, where they keep doing things like cutting off people who are simply just trying to fish. You know, they're not even getting close to their coastal water. They're trying to claim every single water for themselves. And that's the Filipino man right there. And there's a Chinese Coast Guard that just comes in right there. There's nothing to do with it. They're just telling him to get out of there. They can't tell him to get out of there. That's the exclusive economic zone. They're allowed to be there. They're allowed to fish there. They can't just, you know, throw people away. They don't own that water. It's the East China Sea, but they don't own it. It's just called the East China Sea. Or the South, I don't know what it is. I think it's South China? No, it's East. It's East. It's East. South? I don't know. We said it right there and I just forgot it. You know, and then they're telling him to get out of there. And, you know, they can't do that. They even get aggressive sometimes, which is, you know. This is why we gotta say something against China. And the fact that we are still trading with China, the fact that we haven't told them to stop doing this fucking shit, you know, it's fucking, you know. Yeah, and there's two men right there in boats chasing a Filipino fisherman that's simply just trying to fish in open water. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What is he gonna do against you guys? He's just fishing. What is he gonna do? I mean, are you holding naval exercises?
Hindi ko kayo natatakot.
And you're holding naval exercises inside of the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's just, you need to condemn them for this shit, and you need to tell them that unless you stop doing this shit right here, you know, I personally, as a European country, most of the trade that comes from China, you know, if they don't get the European countries, which is what they're hoping to get, you know, their trade comes out to be zero. Because if we start turning against China, because China wants to turn the European continent into sort of their backyard, because that's where they want the most trades from, you know, obviously they could survive without us, but, you know, without the influence in Europe, they would become less of a power. So I'd say to you, you know, I'd sanction those motherfuckers. I'd make the EU sanction them, you know. At least if I was in charge of my country, I'd sanction them. Say I wouldn't trade. I don't trade with communists. I don't, you know, the fact that we're trading with communists, I don't trade with communists, you know. You keep saying that, but I don't trade with communist people. I don't do that, you know. So unless you change your ways, we're just not going to trade anymore. You probably wouldn't care, but as more and more people turn against you, you know, that's whatever it is. So somebody needs to fucking wake the fuck up and tell them to go shove it, you know. That's what they need to do. Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever. There's been some developing things happening in Kosovo. I'm going to find some more on that later. We need to get knocked back to 1899. Yeah. I mean, you're not China back fucking 50 years. They're nothing. Because 50 years ago, they were fucking nothing. You know? Interior Minister Sivakala published a video showing the deputy leader of the Serbian list, Malin Radojic, among the group of the attackers in Banja Jeski, was the leader of the terrorist group, the attack in which Efrem Banjuka was killed. Apparently there's some stuff happening in Kosovo. There's so much fucking stuff happening, guys. You can't have been keeping on top of everything. I'm gonna find out what's happening. But apparently there's been some sort of terrorist attack happening in Kosovo, and I believe it is Serbian backed, because as soon as this happened, the Serbian leader came out with a statement saying that he would they would never recognize the independence of Kosovo. So, you know, as soon as that happened right there, he came out with that statement. So as soon as that happened, I just knew, you know, these guys are Serbian backed. You know, they're terrorists and they're backed by Serbians. And yeah, there's really nothing else to it. They're backed by the Serbians. I have no doubt in my mind they're backed by Serbians. The Serbians are never going to claim it, but I believe they are. Anyways, let's watch it right here. So these are the terrorists that apparently made an attack happen yesterday in Kosovo that took out military, some kind of leader. And that right there, the man they're filming is the leader of that certain operation. And apparently he, you know, they're doing some bad stuff. I'm going to figure it out. I still haven't got it. You know, you got the AK-47s right there. I've got no idea who this is. I no idea. I don't follow along on this. And the only thing I know that exists in fucking, you know, Kosovo is the only thing I know that exists in Kosovo is the whole K4 situation. Oh, okay. Thank you, Witch Yell. Check it out in a second here. Yeah, so the K4, the NATO troops that are in Kosovo, try and keep the control under it. These are obviously Kosovo backed, but yeah. Check out what we got here. From Flash News here, the Russian Crimea administration has been transferred to remote work. Crimean partisans from the ATESH report that 95% of the employees have been transferred to remote work, and many of them are already taking their families out of Crimea. They also applies to many other bodies of the occupation authorities of the peninsula. This came just after an attack on the HQ, of course, so I believe this is that they're now moving the people out of there because they are now realizing that, holy shit, Ukraine is hitting us at home, so maybe we should get our fucking shit out of the country so we don't get fucked up. And that's probably what they're doing. But, yeah, keep an eye on it. Thank you. Alright, we got some more. What are you saying here? Moscow region, a military airfield in Bavovana. Oh, hello, check that out. On fucking fire. It's not even on fucking fire. It is gone. It is just, holy shit, that is huge. I mean, this guy is far away, you know, and looks huge. That thing is huge. Alright. Yeah. That is fucking huge right there. Holy shit. I mean, Jesus Christ. This is from Flash. There's a large-scale fire in the suburbs of Moscow from local social networks. Ukrainian or Zaporizhzia, I don't know, but there's something going on right there. Oh. A powerful explosion in a gas station in Karabakh. At least 125 people were killed. Hundreds were injured. Minister of Health, Armenia. A tank with fuel previously exploded a gas station from which people traveling to Armenia refueled their cars. Is this the second one exploded? Because yesterday I reported on a gas station that blew up, but apparently not. The second one has blown up. 125 people. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know who's doing all this stuff right here, but somebody's doing all this stuff right here, and it's infuriating. Alright. That's a lot dead. We got some other stuff here. Another first in Sudan. Sudan's armed forces released a video of a drone attack with a 82mm munition on a position of the rapid support forces. So, some kind of war is happening in Sudan. I don't fucking know. I'm like, I mean, of course I think there's terrorist attacks, and I think it's a region from some kind of area of some people that's attacking, but I mean, this has happened, you know, throughout the years. I mean, this is no surprise to me. The region is unstable and has been unstable for a very long time. And there you go, you know. can't really show the rest of that because there's some unfortunate pictures right there, but that's what you got from it. Just people getting gas and gone. Yeah. And also to point out that, you know, Sudan and these areas have been unstable for years, probably will continue to be unstable until the end of the fucking days. So yeah. They're very precise. Well, that was Sudan. That was Sudan army right there, which that was in Ukraine. I hope. Oh well, maybe you knew that. All right. Well, and then, I mean, yeah, they were very precise. When AI meets farming, might be a job to put most people to sleep, but AI will step up and do the job for the farmers. I want to show you this video right here, and this is the idea that farming and AI can be correlated together. This is the idea that, you know, AI can be used to other things that making your face look better or shape-shifting your body. AI can also be used for terms like counting sheep and color and putting them in colors, and you know, so this is this, so you know, this is the purple batch, so this is, you know, these are these guys and these are these guys. So I mean, that is really amazing. That's the merging of technology and the farming life, which can make, you know, you can see the counter going up, which can make the farming life of everybody, you know, me the farmers merely, you know, 100 times easier. I want to show you this because this is one of the things that I find you know, great about AI technology. So you know, they can actually count out, you know, they got, oh, how many sheep do we have, you know, can we count them all? Yeah, we can. That takes a long time, but we can do it. Or you can get a computer to do it, you know, which is AI can do that for you right there, and they can actually recognize, so this is red, this is green, these guys belong to this batch, these guys are blue, you know, so you can actually see, you know, that right there, that's a blue, that was a baby, right? Or how you call that, a lamb that belonged to the blue, or to, you know, to the blue batch or to the blue family, and then they can also know who got pregnant, who got, you know, all that stuff right there. Want a purple sheep? So yeah, I mean, that's, you know, the merging of technology right there for you guys. So that's, I think, was something that came out. That's really cool. You know, it takes minutes left for the farmers to, you know, so the Azerbaijan forces now control Aghidere. Yeah, so I also want to show you a picture. I realized I haven't done that. Nagorno-Karabakh is here. Is Armenia, and this is also Azerbaijan territory, but this right here is the territory that was controlled by the Armenian-backed separatists, that was then taken back by Azerbaijan here just a few days ago, and apparently something's still happening in here. So we got a video from an area that's called Aghidere. I don't know, but it's an area in formerly occupied areas of these Armenian separatist armies or Armenian forces.
Ağdərə mərkəzində mənbəyi məlum olmayan əski parçası indi yerə.
This is the video from the area, and I think they're posing up for a picture or video right there.
Və üç rəngli Azərbaycan bayrağı Ağdərə şəhərinin mərkəzində dalğalanmaqdadır. Qarabağ! Qarabağ! Qarabağ!
So yeah, they're now moving on, and the Azerbaijan forces. And one thing you'll notice with the Azerbaijan forces is that the building that they're putting, you know, the flag on, this is, I should actually remind how you fight a war, right? And I want to remind the Russians of how the Azerbaijan conducts themselves during a war. Look at the building that they're now putting this flag on. It's very much still attached, you know. It's it's very much still attached. It works. The satellites, everything appears to be fine. The videos that I've seen from the Azerbaijan forces appears to have been mostly military target. It has been residential shellings, but I believe that was in case of the war. The only people that has let people down and actually has caused death is the Armenian people, the Armenian president or prime minister, who didn't come to support the Armenian population living in the area, or at least, he said that they didn't have forces there. They maybe didn't, but yeah. So check it out. They're fighting over. So they're fighting over the area that you can see on the. The area that they're fighting over. I think that they're in control of this area right here, but I think behind it is still uncontrolled area, and I think that they're talking about moving into the corridor. So all this area right here behind it, I think, is also unspoken territory, or at least there's some kind of separatists in that area as well. I'm still a little confused about what happens with this territory, but I've got the Ukrainian live map here, and it actually has a new edition called the Caucasus, which is the territory that they're fighting in, and you can see that the territory that is liberated, or so-called, that they're fighting over, this is Angoraka, blah, 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 right? This is the Karabakh area. And this is the territory that they've taken back, or at least had fighting along. So on September 20th, units of Azerbaijan forces over a small Armenian position located in the second region, Armenian Ministry of Defense. So this is the territory that the Sputnik Armenia, 2 deputy commanders of the Russian peacekeeping over, so 6 days ago, we knew that. But this area right here is the area that they have taken back. So all this area right here was previously held by Armenian separatists, and all this area right here has now been taken back by Azerbaijan forces. Sorry. And I believe that the Ekada area is also within here. I'm not sure where that is, though. I think it's somewhere in between here. I'm not really sure. Somewhere over here. But yeah, and that's, this is the area that was previously held by Armenian separatists, Armenian-backed separatists, and that's the area that's been taken back. And it's a huge chunk of the Azerbaijan area, which was actually taken in 5 days. It's an extremely successful military campaign. Very little life was actually taken. When you look at the big scope, always fighting over dirt. Well, for Azerbaijan, they weren't actually fighting over dirt. They were actually fighting over the idea that they could have a country that was whole and didn't have Armenian-backed separatists in the country. So Azerbaijan had a justified military goal that they completed, which I am very much in the idea that, in fact, they did have a justified military goal. They had foreign invaders on their recognized territory that they then took back from those invaders on their territory. It's within the playbook, and in fact, there wasn't a lot of military life. What the fuck's going on? That rain or yeah? So in fact, there wasn't a lot of life taken, and they were within the playbook, and they were moving fast and great. So all I'm saying is, I don't know if I'm completely Azerbaijan. I'm Team Azerbaijan. I think I'm gonna stay out of having a side on this one, but I'm a little Azerbaijan because. When you have an Armenian-backed separatist force inside of a country like Azerbaijan, that's exactly what the Russians had inside of Ukraine before the war. So I'm just saying, same kind of principle. The President Erdogan on the Sanksusur corridor. The realization of this new very important corridor for Turkey and Azerbaijan is a strategic issue and must be completed. When this corridor is open, a vehicle on train leaving Baku will be able to directly to Kazi. Turkey and Azerbaijan brotherhood will become much stronger. It is pleasing to hear possible signals from Iran on this issue. Our wishes is to open them as a corridor of peace. It is not possible to think a corridor still dominated by war. If Armenia does not pave the way for this, where will it go? It will pass through Iran. Is currently looking as a positively, and since Iran is looking positively, it will be possible to pass through Iran to Azerbaijan. Armenian duty is to stand on the side of the peace to restore tranquility. So the way they're talking about right now is this right here. So this is the Sangasur corridor. And this is Turkey over here, and this is the so-called train track right here that was traveling throughout the country. Now before, of course, they didn't have this territory right here, and a direct line between the two countries simply didn't, exist. And it must, this line right here is the one they're talking about completing, and one they want, to exist, and they wanted to talk about moving it through Iran, but since, there were separatist controls in the area, they couldn't do it. So they're talking about moving it through Iran. So they have, obviously what Azerbaijan want is the idea that they can move it from this area and in through the Sangador corridor, and then, couple it on to station over here. But of course, if they have to go all the way around, is something that they also are talking about. But because the Azerbaijan forces now have complete control of this area right here, they can peacefully build through this area and possibly connect up, seeing some positive economic upturning, which is always great for these regions, and a peaceful means of end to this war could be met right now. So I don't think we're going to see much more to it. The Azerbaijan forces did it. They won fair and free. I mean, they didn't. And again, they didn't commit any war crimes. I mean, I'm just astonished. It was an extremely successful military campaign. One that I didn't think they were just going to complete. They didn't commit any serious crimes. I mean, shelling residential buildings, that was very, very minimal. I mean, they didn't really do it. Anything they did, it was little. They only shelled army positions because they're fighting an enemy, so they shelled the army positions, and they used rocket launcher to do that. They moved fast. They didn't target civilian targets. They had all chances to target civilian targets when they were moving out of the country. They let them move out of the country. They let them get evacuated. They did pretty much everything by the book. So, in all fairness, guys, I don't think we're going to see much more to this. I think it is over. 5 days, right? And what can you do? What can you do? The Iranian news right here. Iran shows off its new micro turbojet engine-powered version of the shaded kamikaze UAV, and there has been growing fears of this drone right here going to Russia because it is not propeller fire. It is in fact jet-powered and much, much faster. There's been a little bit of a fear of these massive drones going to Ukraine because what the idea of these guys is that they're much faster compared to the earlier propeller drones, and these guys, I mean, it would be harder to shoot down because you definitely have to maybe advance on the ability to shoot down. They would, and they're bigger as well. So we don't know, but obviously that's something we'll have to look out for. United States is considering the possibility of delivering an additional batch of M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, in addition to the ongoing shipment of 31 tanks as reported by the messenger. So they're now thinking about moving more equipment into the country in terms of Abrams tanks, which is only great. So 31 tanks is set to go to Ukraine, and they're in Ukraine as we're speaking, but they're already talking about moving more, which I think it should do. Okay, Biden has posted something about you guys' government shutting down. I don't know how many of you are American, but I want to read this out for you in case you didn't. Biden posted, let me be clear. Okay, let me be clear. If the government shuts down, members of the U.S. military are going to have to continue to work but not get paid. Extreme House Republicans are playing politics with our service members and their families, Joe Biden stated. So they're, working in the military, working anywhere from the government job perspective would be working without pay. That's simply unviable for any government ever, and we're gonna have to see what this means for anything. I mean, if it's gonna be, you know, if it's the 3-day lockdown, we'll survive. People can survive, of course, and probably have to be compensated for that. But if it's a longer shutdown, that's a serious problem there. They do it all the time. It has happened before, but let's hope this doesn't happen, guys. Let's hope this doesn't happen. Unfortunately, they have done it before. I mean, if we're talking about a 3-day shutdown, you know, we'll see. But if they're talking about a possible working without pay, and they've done it before, exactly. And the problem is, if they shut down the fucking government for more than a month or anything like that, that's a serious lack of payment right there. And anybody, you know, who doesn't get the payment for a month, that's your living bread right there. I mean, what the fuck are they gonna do? You know, I mean, and if the government comes back, they really have to give some compensations, and that's gonna cost the American economy a lot of fucking money. So this is a whole shit fucking mess. So let's hope it doesn't shut down. And if they you know, they're gonna demand the payments. Just want to say that. So yeah. Well, that's what's happening in the U.S. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Keep monitoring it. Is something going on in Moscow? I feel like the camera was moving there for a second. I don't know. I just feel like I've never seen that camera move. It started to move, so I don't know what happened. Oh, what happened? Did the energy? Did that? No. No, the energy. Okay. Did the power just cut out, or is it the camera angle? I'm looking at Moscow right now. The power didn't cut out. I think it's a camera angle. Kind of. I thought for a second when it moved right there. I thought the light cuts out for a second there. Kind of looked a bit weird. I don't know. Looked a little weird there for a second. Let's see. I want to show you because I am boring history, so I have some boring history here. It's actually not very boring. There were over 100. I can't pronounce this number right here. I'm going to show you the number because I can't pronounce it. It's this number right here. It's a lot of numbers. And it has something to do with the Enigma machine. The combination of the Enigma machine regarding to the codes, it could be used for messengers. Yet Alan Turing bomb machine through trial and error was able to decode messages and sent by Germans in 20 minutes. So this is the video of the actual machine, or at least a replica of it. I don't know if it's the actual machine, but this is Alan Turing. This is the predecessor of the so-called computer. You know, the thing that Alan Turing was working on, when the scientists, you know, who studied his life and picked up his work, they called it the Alan Turing machine. You might know the Alan Turing machine nowadays as the word computer, because he literally invented the computer. And this was doing World War II right here. It was a combination machine that could literally take in the information of the codes and translate the codes. Yeah, Godzillion. But it's impressive because it was the first ever sort of form of machine. It was called Christopher, which was named after Alan Turing's childhood friend who he had a crush on. Alan Turing was a homosexual or gay. I want to put it like that. So this was the first machine that he named after his childhood friend, who unfortunately passed away at a very young age as well. Sort of tragic life that Alan had, but he did manage to make some very, very impressive things. And this was the first thing of the Alan kind. I've got one more last video here for you before we're going to move on to doing some other stuff. Then I don't have any more in the document. A real life hero. This this is pretty incredible. Back in 1926, Gladys Engel saved her fellow stunt pilot by replacing a tire that flew up his plane thousands of feet in the air. So check this out. I found this video. I want to show it to you because this is, you know, proof that even back in the day we did some amazing things. So check this out. So the plane doesn't have a tire. She gets a tire on the back. Flies it off. In the plane. She's a stunt pilot. (1926). She's literally grabbing onto the plane as it takes on. She's standing on the fucking wing off the plane. It was 1926. Look what she does. She goes to the wing of it. I don't know how she got up there, but she climbed in the middle of the air. She climbed up on the fucking wing. It was all filmed in 1926, by the way, guys. They're probably dead by now, but it's a woman. Yes. No, but I think you should be proud. I mean, listen, she's a fucking badass. She climbed on top of a fucking wing, you know? Right there. She jumps on that plane. I mean, it's thin sheets of cloth that she's lying on, staying on the wing, you know? She climbs on down. She's not tied on. No. This is in 1926, which tying people on for safety reasons didn't exist yet. It wasn't invented yet. She's just sitting there. I mean, this is more of a stunt than anything. This was just repair services. You know, this was repair services. It wasn't a fucking, like, you know, it was literally just her repairing a wheel on a plane in the middle of the sky. And this was just... It just happened. She did this because, I mean, this wasn't because, you know, this is part of the stunt. You know, this was actually, like, it was an actual thing that happened. I came across the video of how to show it. It's such an amazing feat. I mean, and she landed with the fucking plane right there. Couldn't have done it. You couldn't have done that nowadays, but that's pretty insane. You know, I can't wait for her to go into town, you know, and tell everybody, and then everybody goes, "Shut up! You didn't do that." That's pretty amazing. All right, well, let's move on. That was awesome and scary. It probably was scary at the time. Although she looked very confident doing it, almost like she did it before. So let's move on to some plane news right here. We have a top CT right here, which is the river joint. They've been playing around pretty much all day. There was 3 river joints at one time. We knew the president were moving. He's in San Francisco right now in California. We have a special Russian plane moving. I want to point out that Putin has traveled in one of these before. Kind of like a strategic command center. It's not the Doomsday plane. Because everybody, when the Doomsday plane was flying, everybody was posting, "Oh, look at this, that's a Doomsday plane." This is not the Doomsday plane. The Doomsday plane is only 4 of those, in which I only think 2 of those actually exist. Maybe only 1 actually work, sorry. I'm not even sure if those 4 actually work. They're old, and they're from the 60s. I think maybe even further, but they're very old. You know, those Doomsday planes that Putin has. Very old. I mean, the Air Force One is pretty old too, but it's been upgraded since, you know. I'm not even sure if the Russian planes has. I'm not sure. I'm really not. I mean, look at this thing right here. That, you know, that's up right now over Russia. And according to the plane news over on 88B, which we got down here, we got a Hercules, we got an Airbus. That's pretty much what we got going on. Falcon 900. I mean, we've got some reconnaissance happening right here. A lot of chopper activity. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of chopper activity going on lately. A lot of Blackhawks up. I don't know if this is a big ass exercise happening, but you know, this right down here I've seen before. I think there's a big base down here that contains these choppers right now. But we got an Osprey. Well, we got 2 Ospreys flying right now. A shit ton of Blackhawks. So that's happening. We have a Airbus landing in the same area. This Airbus been doing rounds around just outside here. This is also in the area in where the president is right now. So there's obviously increased in the civilian, probably just over that area right there. It's not, you know, there's a military chopper there. A lot of choppers over here. Once again, it's very quiet tonight again. It is. It's very quiet. And some tankers and P8s, a little bit of that. Nothing extremely out of the ordinary. Nothing over Japan. Yesterday, by the way, we saw a shit ton of stuff over Japan. And I want to point out that I was monitoring, I think, 2 river joints. And at least one of those river joints went over here. And I think it was doing rounds about, like just right here. Or right over here. Sorry, not over here, but right over here. I think it was doing rounds about holding an eye on China and North Korea. But it was the first day in a very long time, or ever, I saw where Chinese cargo planes was up and Airbuses was up, flying around in China, you know. So that was something that was happening yesterday. I don't know if the Chinese were moving around a lot of equipment yesterday, but apparently something was happening yesterday. And North Korea, a plane from Moscow actually landed in North Korea. The Russian plane that landed in North Korea, a Lysian 62M, landed in North Korea. So that's pretty. So something was happening. There's a Russian delegation or somebody from the Russian government inside North Korea right now. So pretty ominous right now. Pretty ominous. So let's keep an eye on it all, of course. Okay. Trump was found guilty. Yeah. It means nothing. He's not gonna go to jail. Like, I mean, listen, you know, when sometimes people are too big to fail, you know. Don't worry, he's not gonna go to prison. He's not. I mean, some people are way too big to fail, you know, or go down or go to prison, or it's just how the world is. This shit. Does that mean anything serious? It means nothing. Like, it means he was found guilty of the crimes that he committed. I'm not sure if that has any implications in that he can't run for president anymore. It could be. He can't run for president. I don't know if criminals can run for presidency. I mean, you have Joe Biden in your office, so he's been convicted before. So, you know, who cares at this point? Use your arm? Well, don't do that, but yeah. No, but listen, if he's going to end up in a prison, it's going to be one of those rich man prisons where you play tennis all day and golf. You know, I mean, there's not really any reason to put him in prison because, you know, he's not going to end up in prison. He's probably going to go, you know, live in his mansion with under house arrest, if anything, you know. If anything, he's going to live in his mansions under house arrest, which I believe he already is or already has for some time, at least. But he took home classified documents, you know. Can't do that, so. To be fair, I don't know. I think they're overreacting a tiny bit. I mean, he took home classified documents that he wasn't allowed to take home, but, I mean, was he selling those documents? I don't think he was. I don't know. It's weird. So, a lot of stuff happening there. Well, let's go to Twitter, see what's happening on Twitter. See if Flash has his update. We can check that out. This is from today, the 26th. That's from today. All right. Well, Flash has his daily update, so we're gonna take a look at the Flash daily updates here. They all do, yeah. Kawasaki P1. That's Japanese surveillance plane right there. All right. Well, we're gonna take a look at the Flash news here, and then we're gonna come right back after.
Fugi că pică aici. Uite aici a picat direct în vamă.
Это участок ваш, да?
Да. Здесь под храмом. А здесь будет храм строиться. Ну как бы есть, ну человека нету, у которого оно лежит. Один пулемет, АК, гранаты.
Секунду! Дуй это! Дуй! Национальная полиция, працює! Стоять!
Yep. All right. So let's move on. Let's cruise through Twitter, see what's going on. What happening for Twitter? Let's check Deep State, see what's happening. Awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, the kitchen train, but that's also one thing I mentioned before, that they've also got a portable one. The Ukrainian army has also got this portable thing happening. So here around the area Bakhmut as well, there was talks about some breakthroughs on the Bakhmut line. As you can see, the whole Bakhmut front line has moved. Well, wasn't it? Yeah, well, they call this Bakhmut, but the Luhansk region, Donbass area, has moved. And as you can see, the whole Russian soldiers, as supposedly to be, has moved back to positions. And this area around in Bakhmut is one of the most heavily defended. However, it is also one of the most under-defended, because all of the Russian lines has not been built in the front, has actually been built in the back, because they have not had time to build it in the front, because this front right here took so long to gain that the Ukrainians also kept up the fire at the front, so it's been impossible to work, so they had to build it in the back. Unlike these areas where the fighting's been less, they've had time to build it. The area up here in Bakhmut had so much fighting that the Russians didn't have time to build massive trench lines on in the top here. So this right back here is the big line. So I believe that the Russians eventually, if anything goes bad, are planning on falling back to this direct line right here, because they've also done it up in Kharkiv, which is weird, because in Kharkiv they could have had time for it. They've built some of it, but the main defensive line, which is right here, which have also been built out here, I don't know why, but they've done it, has also, I believe eventually what their plan is to fall back to this line right here, and we were seeing the pretext of it, so what ifs, right? And yeah, that is what's happening around the globe, around on the map right there. Missile strikes, of course, reported on it. Continues as usual, shelling and everything. Ukraine continues to transport diesel fuel to the said MPP even after its occupation. This was stated by the Minister of Energy of the Ukraine, Herman Hekulus Shenko. I don't know. We asked to agree on a corridor to supply there, so that when there was a blackout 7 times, we would not have an accident. He says. According to him, Aragon purchased and transport about 500 tons of diesel fuel through Russian checkpoints. So just want to say that the only reason why we haven't had accidents is because the Ukrainians are still pumping fuel to the area. So, again, the only reason why nothing has happened is because the Ukrainians. Yeah. Trying to see if there's any news from Romania coming in here. Yeah, not sure if there's any other news throughout of Romania here. They haven't really responded to it. Sure they are gonna say anything about it. It wasn't on their territory. Got very close, but eventually, man, we're gonna see something happen. This can't go on forever. If they, every number of things can go wrong when they get that close to it. Yeah. I'm trying to check everything right now, see if there's any special news. I'm trying to check Belarus, see if there's anything happening right now. I'm going to go over to Poland. But no. Nothing really. Belarus continues to train with their PMC Wagner instructors. That is something that we've noted. So PMC is still training with the Belarusian armed forces within Russia. Belarus. So there is still that happening. A shopping center in Belarus is on fire. Really? Yeah, it was reported by some people. Global shopping center is on fire in Belarus. This was reported 8 hours ago by some people here. Well, okay, I'm gonna show you the video. I can't claim it because I haven't seen any of the big guys post about it, but we'll show it. Here you go. Apparently, a big ass shopping center here in Belarus is on fire. Look at that. This is another angle right here. Is that the same area? Alright, this video is fake. You know, I know this video is fake. Do you guys want to know how I know this video is fake? Alright. Let's take a look at Belarus on a map, shall we? Let's take a look at Belarus on a map. If this video was recorded, I mean, listen, the only way that this video could be true is if they recorded the video here, right? If they recorded the video here and actually, and they took it down towards the Dnipro River, you know, if the video was recorded near the Dnipro River, which is the only area where there's a river that large, because you see the ocean in the background there, the only area in Belarus where there's a river that large, or an ocean that large into Dnipro, and it's the only area in where you can actually take that. However, they're not even that close to it. It's that far back, and Belarus is landlocked. They don't have ocean. What's in the back of that video? There's ocean in the back of that video. That's ocean back there. This is not in Belarus. It can't be. Now, I don't know if this is it in Belarus. The other video wasn't. But this looks... I don't know if this is in Belarus or not. They're purporting on it. So I don't know if it is. But the only thing is, guys, Belarus does not have an ocean. It is landlocked. Doesn't have any major... Doesn't appear to have any major riverways running through it. Which is one thing I've noted. I mean, if you're talking about... Maybe they're filming in some of these, like, smaller lakes right here. I mean, that could be what we're looking at. That could be something, but they don't have ocean, so, you know. So, no, I don't, you know, if they're reporting, so, no, I don't think that video is real. Debunk. Get debunked. Get debunked. Oh, get debunked. Right? I mean, listen, that's, you know, because all the big guys have reported on it. Russia keeps striking Ukrainian border areas with NATO member states. The suicide drones attacks were recorded by at the Romanian side near. No, it said it was recorded near. It said it was recorded on the Romanian side. It didn't say it was in Romania. It said it was recorded on the Romanian side. It didn't hit Romania. It was recorded on the Romanian side. And the other thing is, we had this big-ass fire in Moscow right now. I'm going to check it out. Moscow, I'm going to see if I can find a video on it, guys, because we're going to get some videos in this one right here. Got no videos from it. I mean, they got pictures from it. It's a big-ass boy. There's another angle right there. It's a big one. That's the big picture they got. Tell me nobody wants to fucking find a picture of it? Come on. Look at that. Big ass boy back there. No, they only got pictures of it. Look at the building next to it, by the way. I want to say how huge this is. That's a high-rise building right there, and that's the fire next to it. This is a huge fucking fire taking place at a military base. I don't know what's going on, but this is major news right now, guys. There's a major fire in Moscow, and it is going off right now. Hope we can get a video from it soon, but we don't have a video right now. They haven't posted any. Our Lord of Corrupts. Yeah. We're loaded crops in Asmila, through which Ukraine is exporting harvest grains to in Russia. The only thing is that we don't know at a certain moment is these truck drivers, if they were Romanian or Ukrainian. We believe they may have been Ukrainian, but the trucks is actually one thing. We don't know if the trucks were Romanian. They could have actually been Romanian, but it wasn't on the Romanian side, so don't worry about that. Yeah, major fire in Moscow right now. It's the biggest pressing news I got for you. Oh, yeah. That is extreme. Good God. Yeah. Good God. We don't know much else right now. President Vladimir Zelensky held a meeting with the president of the National Council of Austria, Wolfgang Sobotka. All right. So, Austria jumping on the idea of Ukraine here now. Great job. Austria got some systems as well. Good job. Let's see if that comes anything out. Guilty of fraud. Donald Trump was found guilty of fraud. Yeah, we got that one. Legacy will outlast armor. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. We got the Georgian Legion. These guys are from Georgia fighting in Ukraine. And car right there that they apparently... But probably that car they fought in or was in. But they lived. That car didn't. But apparently they did. And apparently they're now saying that the car armor did great. But legacy will outlast armor, they say. They certainly have a legacy forever. We're written down in history.
Right now. Just about a week.
All right, we got President Biden talking about the shutdown. As much as you might not like it, we're gonna watch it. So here you go,
folks. I want to take a minute to explain to you what's going on in Washington right now. Just about a week, we could be facing a government shutdown if Republicans in the House of Representatives don't do their job. And there's no reason for us to be in this position. Just a few months ago, after a long negotiation between myself and the Republican Speaker of the House, we came to an agreement on spending levels for the government that will fund essential domestic and national security priorities while still cutting the deficit over $1 trillion over the next decade. Now, there's a small group of extreme House Republicans who don't want to live up to that deal. So they're determined to shut down the government, shut it down now, and it makes no sense. I'm prepared to do my part. But the Republicans in the House of Representatives refuse. They refuse to stand up to the extremists in their party. So now everyone in America could be forced to pay the price. Let me be clear. If the government shuts down, that means members of our U.S. military are going to continue to be on duty but not get paid. And frankly, that's adding insult to injury, since Republicans in the United States Senate have failed to stand up to one of their own senators, who for months has stood in the way of military promotions. Funding the government is one of the most basic responsibilities of the Congress. It's time for these Republicans in the House to start doing their job, doing the job America elected them to do. So let's get it done. We have time. Let's get it done. Folks,
that is Biden talking about the possible shutdown and how it's basically everybody else's fault. No, it is. I mean, you guys got a stupid Congress. They can't figure out anything, you know. Republicans and Democrats, they don't mix well. Republicans and Democrats, they never mix well together.
Just from a security
So you
standpoint,
think
people...
Oh, God. Really? That right there, Dr. Anderson Maria Lopez. It's a really fucking shitty idea to the fact that we have a doctor who seems to think that Nazis are Ukrainians. Here you go. So a doctor Anastia, I don't fucking care, Maria Lopez, you know, this is your doctor nowadays that go around thinking that the Ukrainians are Nazis. Nazis are good now. That's the doctors right here. And then we got a response from Slava Ukrainian right there. Russian war crimes, 17,000 injured civilians, killed 19,000, and 108,000, right? A doctor, you know? You think the educated people be fucking educated. You know, you wouldn't think they'd be that fucking stupid. And I personally wouldn't want to have her as my my doctor when she's clearly not mentally there. You know, she's clearly not mentally stable. I wouldn't want to have her as my doctor. Tell that much. Well, guys, I don't have any more for you tonight. I am going to leave the stream here. Thank you so much. Did you get the video to fire to Moscow? Yeah, but the thing is, that video, this is a video from Moscow, and that video right there, it looks a bit small compared to how big that fire is. And I don't know what this is, but they said they said it was a strong fire in Shevkol. According to primary information, a 2-story building in the Holiday village of Zaporizhzhia is on fire. The cause is unknown. It looks like it's small, that two-story building can do that, can be that big. But apparently, I mean, this could be the video of that area. Could be. It's just because I'm taking a look at that building right there. It's a two-story building, right? And yes, but taking a look at this picture of the fire, you know, and also in the location, I don't know. I'm not trying to discount your information here. I'm a little conflicted because it looks a bit small compared to how big the fire is. You know, but I'm sure we get the video. Don't worry. It could be the video. I don't know. I really don't know. It just looks very small compared to how big it is. You know, but we'll see. It could be the video. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. I will be live again tomorrow with more news. Have a amazing night, day, whatever it is for you. I will see you on the other side. Have a good night. Goodbye.